Welcome to the Coquitlam Whiskey Barrel Podcast with your hosts, Uncle Corey and Uncle Dono.
Recording off some bullshit.
He left his Stanley Cup back on the ice in 1980.
It's embarrassing.
Let's give Corey a round of applause like you were the fucking service staff at a wedding.
Who shot you? Separate the weak from the obsolete.
Brooklyn streets.
No, you're not doing the whole song again.
I'm not going to.
We did it
I'm
last
done.
week and you're not doing it.
I'm done.
Week,
was it last week that
Yeah,
we
it
did
was. It feels like a long time ago, doesn't it?
it? It does. It feels like last week was like, it was just it was a rough one. It was.
But we've recovered. We took an extra day off this week. We had a long weekend.
Yeah.
So we extended because it is American Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And we do recognize that as a national Canadian holiday. A stat holiday, if you will.
Yeah, it is. I haven't worked for American Thanksgiving in 8 years.
If the Canadian government is going to infringe on my rights to recognize this as a national holiday, then I've got something to say to Mr. Trudeau.
I tend to agree with that. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. It's your duty as a North American. You could say whatever you'd like to the Prime Minister, and if that means that you want to celebrate, I mean, if certain people can't work on the Sabbath, I'm not even asking weekly. I need it once every 365. That's it.
I'm not asking for much. I just want to pay homage to the pilgrims and the turkeys.
Yeah, and the corns on the husk.
Maize, I believe they called it back then.
Maize, yes.
Yeah, it's funny that they call it that.
Why is that funny?
Well,
because of corn maize? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, no, I didn't even get there, but that's even better.
That's
better than where I was going.
Maybe that's what we thought they were saying. Like, they've made a maize
Out
of that corn.
Right.
And now there's corn mazes everywhere.
Why do they call it ears of corn?
I don't know.
And the husk, it's a whole thing. Who grows corn? Like,
we can't even process it. It goes
you
right
just
through
shit
your
it
system.
right out.
It's why I'm gonna just gloss over that you just said that. It's outrageously inappropriate. But it's one of those things. That's why corn syrup is so bad for you, because your body takes the fiber, the whole kernel, and just clears it through.
Right.
But when you ground it down to a syrup or powder form, then your body can't process it, and that's why it causes so much inflammation. And that type of sugar, that artificial sugar like that, is the worst stuff for you.
Unlike those people with fake gluten allergies.
Yeah, well, I mean, corn's not gluten either. Corn is corn.
Welcome to the Whiskey Barrel Podcast, everybody. We've gone mobile. As we do. We've been known to take it worldwide. We've been to Rome. Yeah. We've been to Dubrovnik. We've been to London. Yeah. Now we are in this little community, very little Wi-Fi, low internet connection. It's a bit of a dungeon.
It's
and
cold.
He's got us holed up in some sort of bunker. He's up the AC for no reason.
Yeah, I know.
And we're coming to you live, not from the Wendy Law Studios.
No.
We're from the Jane and Amy Studios here, our mobile studio.
Yeah.
But as always, our 200 viewers need to hear from the Fantasy Gurus, and we're not going to let you go without this week. So we're coming to you from the American Thanksgiving special, the super terrific
Happy Hour.
Whiskey Barrel Podcast.
And we're going to try not to run 2 hours, but we've been known to do that.
It's happened. Happened from time to time.
A little PSA before we continue. If you're ever thinking about starting your own podcast, don't drink yourself into oblivion while recording the podcast.
Also have some sort of guidelines or timeline or organization.
Yes.
In general.
I think foresight is the word we're looking for.
Yeah. Just don't turn a microphone on and ramble for 2 hours and think that people are going to want to listen to it.
Yeah.
They still do. I don't know why, but thanks. Shout out Lucas for listening to the full 2 hours last week, because I know you did.
We could have Lucas on.
Why?
Well, maybe he knows a lot about maize.
Okay, Lucas, if you got some good corn info, we'll give you 3 minutes next week.
That's what I'm into now. That's what I'm going to start calling it now. Maize. I'm going to go to Save on Foods.
Maize on the Cob?
With Wendy and go get me some maize.
Get some canned maize. Some green giant maize.
I don't care if it's frozen or right off the husk.
Yeah.
I need some maize in my life.
Fresh from the cob. So we have a very special episode for you today.
It is very special. Sorry, we should be a little bit more excited.
Yeah, we are excited. It's American Thanksgiving. We're at the Fan of Household as per usual. We invited all our listeners. A few of them have shown up. We didn't think we were going to come, which is great. We're happy to have you.
Yeah.
We're hoping to have some special guests throughout the day.
Yeah.
They're being belligerent and eating great food on the other side. But As we open here, I want to start with a segment that's kind of near and dear to everybody's hearts in this league, and
in this league
specifically, and something that cropped up again multiple times this year and again last week. And it's a little segment I like to call Trade Raping with Uncle Don.
I have no idea where he's going with this, but he's asked for the time, and I'm going to give it to him.
I've just asked for the time because we've gone back into the annals of the trading history this year, and I've done some research and kind of looked at where we've started and where we began, and how, Don, everyone is upset that you've won multiple championships.
Yep.
You know I'm one of your biggest fans. We always say the final occurs the first week of the playoffs because ultimately I play you, I lose, you go on to win the championship, and I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
No one wants you to win.
No.
I want you to win if it's not going to be me.
If it's not you, yeah.
And no one learns their lesson.
No, that's true.
What should I say? First,
well, should I preface what you're going to go down before?
You have lost some trades this year.
Okay.
I will not.
I'm not denying that. Okay, so if you listen to everybody else in the league, okay, if I'm going to sum up their thoughts on what, as I'm a firm advocate of making moves, as I say, is every year I draft a team. I usually draft pretty poorly. If you go back to week 1, I'm not thrilled about my team this year. And then as the year goes over, I make trades with basically every one of my players. For example, if you look at my team now versus the team I drafted, I have one player that's the same. It's LaShawn McCoy, who's arguably my best player. But everything else is different. My wide receivers are different. My flexes are different. What?
You want me to shred the turkey?
Oh, yeah, sure. Shred the turkey.
All right, turkey shredder.
Who's just banging on?
It's the commish. It's the commish.
All right, that's okay. We're all right. Sorry, we had a quick interruption, but we're back.
Anyway, sorry. So their argument is that all I do is trade with people to make my team better, and then I go on to win. Now, that's...
Just to interrupt you, sorry. The reason you trade with people is to try to make your team better.
I try to make everybody's teams better.
You're giving up something that you have a surplus of for something that you're deficient in, and vice versa.
Yeah, expand or contract.
Yep.
Okay.
Wide receiver, running back,
right.
depth.
Okay. Anyway, sorry. So this is the lore that is with this league, is that I draft shitty, trade everybody, rape everybody in the trades, and then I somehow manage to win. Which they're arguing that I've been doing again this year. So now Corey is he's printed out quite a few things, and he wants to talk about it. So go ahead.
We'll go back to the start of the year.
Yes.
A trade involving you and Team Danimal.
Okay.
Donovan trades Jonathan Stewart. What are your thoughts on Jonathan Stewart?
In general? Or...
The deal is Dan trades Delaney Walker, you trade Jonathan Stewart.
Yeah, Dan had 3 tight ends, and
we're just breaking down the trade.
No, and he had another.
Jonathan Stewart.
Yeah, but he had the other Panthers running back too. So I gave him this backup.
I highly doubt that,
and
because
Dan
he did not have Christian McCaffrey.
And, I don't know. Anyways, he needed running back help.
He got a top 5 tight end for nobody.
He's number 6.
Okay,
I don't even have him on my team.
That's fine. Yeah, you
see. Don't worry. You like him so much, but it's great when I have them. They're great, but I've traded him already.
We go back to a repeat customer. Team Danimal trades Dez and Samaje Perine for Mike Gillisley, healthy scratch, and Danny Amendola.
To me?
Yes.
No.
Yeah. Don trades Gillisley and Amendola to Dan for Dez Bryant and Samaje Perine.
No way. Is that a real trade?
That's a real trade. And can you confirm that is a raping?
That's not...
A raping?
That's not...
A raping?
Dez... Okay, hold on. Dez and P. Ryan?
To you for Mike Healthy Scratch Gillisley and Danny Amendola.
Well, if that's a real trade, how the fuck did that happen? Okay, well,
okay.
I'm proud of myself on that.
Of course you are. Why wouldn't you? Then we come into
my defense of the Walker trade that you're also... This is
okay.
after week 1.
It's okay, because
But Jonathan Stewart was a top 12 running back last year, and Delaney Walker was his 3rd tight end.
Now we come into...
In week 1, context. Context is a big thing here. So is roster construction.
Don't worry, I've got dates coming up.
Okay.
We go into where Donovan declines deals.
Oh, excellent.
Because he seems to only want to trade with some people and not trade with others. If you just click on go up here. Yeah. Click on my team.
I'll look for it. You talk about it.
Okay. Don declines.
Trading Blanc?
No, I've got it on mine because I have commissioner powers.
Oh, perfect.
Don declines Larry Fitz and Dion Lewis and Marlon Mack for DeMarco Murray.
Did I really decline that?
Declined.
Wow. Oh, all right.
Okay.
See, I don't rape everybody. Because you're suggesting that would have been a rape on your side? I would have taken advantage of that?
I would have lost that trade, but you didn't because you don't trade with me. Next trade on the table. Golden Tate and Alvin Kamara to Donovan for Des Bryant.
No, I traded like 5 guys there.
Nelson Aguilar. Sorry, I take out the erroneous. Do you want me to include that T.J. Yeldon and Chris Ivory came your way? No, I take out the erroneous players.
That's what this is the trade, and I sent Charles. He had
Jamal Charles. You're justifying this trade by adding Jamal Charles into it
because he had T.J. Yeldon, and I just got Leonard Fournette, so I needed to make a trade. So we talked on the phone, and he said, "No, I like Des Bryant and Aguilar." And I said, "Oh,
I'm not saying that."
And
I said, "Oh,
well, I like Kamara," and he said, "Okay, let's do this." We talked on the phone.
Okay, I understand. But is Golden Tate and Alvin Kamara for Des Bryant a trade rape or not?
And my backups. I
don't give a shit about bench players.
I do. I care because you should need to back up.
Okay, so you're willing to trade Alvin Kamara for backups?
For my backups. I got my backups too. So that trade's even better.
The 2 best players in the trade are Golden Tate and Alvin Kamara. And they both went to you for Des Bryant. Next trade on the table. Donovan trades Demaryius Thomas and Kenyon Drake for Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
The number 1 tight end.
And he was on a bye that week, and Dan needed a win. And he was starting...
Did you rape that trade?
Okay, but again, this is context. He was...
I'm just talking player for player.
He was starting...
I'm talking player for player.
He was starting Sterling Shepard, and I don't even know what running back he had, but I think it was like Mike Tolbert. So no, I didn't. Actually, because I lost that week and I started Ed Dixon.
So now we
and
go
I got
back.
Smoked.
Now we go back.
So don't. That again is context. The guy and Demaryius Thomas did 14 points that week, and Kenyon Drake did 12, and Dan won. So actually, sorry, I screwed myself.
Now we go back to the Des Bryant for Golden Tate and Alvin Kamara.
Yes.
Now you declined Larry Fitzgerald and Dion Lewis for Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
Now, Des Bryant is what, number 22 wide receiver?
Something like that, yeah.
And Larry Fitz is number 5?
Yeah, top 5.
And Dion Lewis is an RB2?
Yeah, he's an RB2.
So that is admitting to raping. If you're not going to take a better deal for the one guy, for half the trade...
Oh, you're upset that I made the trade for the other guy, and then I wouldn't...
You traded Dez for Golden Tate and Alvin Kamara, but you wouldn't take a better wide receiver and a running back for half of that deal.
Okay, but the trade isn't even Dez. It's Nelson Aguilar. He called me for Nelson Aguilar. And I said, I want TJ Yeldon.
I'm not talking about that. It's not my fault the other GM's an idiot and thinks Nelson Aguilar is good.
I'm just saying that's what the trade is. It's what am I going to do? No?
And we come into the last raping of the year.
Oh, God.
So far, I'm sure the day's not over, so I'm sure there's still hours
left. No, you should know that they all talked before I got here because nobody wants to trade with me
No one saw this.
Because they're all so upset.
I'd love to.
They're so upset.
If you go back through, this is your transaction history, go back through, you can see all the red marks, which are when I've offered you trades, and you haven't even responded to them. Just not even sent like a rebuttal of, hey, okay, if you really want this guy, this is what it's going to cost you, like most normal humans do. You just decline mine because you don't want to trade with me. And that's fine. That's okay. There's people in our league.
You always want the best player in the deal.
A top 5 wide receiver. I was sending you for a number 20 running back at the time.
Well, now he's a top 6.
I'm sorry I had foresight.
Now he's number 7.
Next trade. Donovan trades Kareem Hunt to Hinton for Julio Jones and Christian McCaffrey.
Okay.
Now, you've had a lot of issues, and you're upset about this. Here, just go through here, and you can see all the red marks.
Yeah.
Any declined transaction is the one that I've sent you. Okay. All the other greens are you're trading with everybody else, but the red ones are just me. So just as a heads up there. Now, we go through the list here.
What the fuck?
And I've got the RB rankings as of week 3. Okay? So what I'm going to tell you here is...
The amount of time you spent on this.
It took me no time.
It's a lot of writing.
I had a long lunch.
Just for me to copy that down
I had a long lunch.
would take me a while.
I had a long lunch. Kareem Hunt put up 80 points in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Since then, in the next 8 weeks. Okay, sorry, not including...
Before you continue,
No.
Hinton needed a win. And Christian McCaffrey was on a bye, and Julio hadn't scored more than 6 points. He won that trade.
Can I just give you some information?
Okay, I'm just saying.
Over the course
And he won! I keep giving guys wins. Why am I getting yelled at for wins?
Over the course of the 7 weeks following week 3, Julio Jones put up 64.7 points. Just under 10 points a game.
Okay.
Kareem Hunt
put up fucking off too.
Kareem Hunt put up 67.7, so just under 10 points a game. So Kareem Hunt put up 3 more points than Julio. So for you to argue that gave him the win is erroneous because you were trading a 0.3 point advantage to Hinton. No,
because what you also have to context is who he would have started instead. So it's Kareem Hunt.
So you'd have Julio and somebody else because McCaffrey was on a bye. Yeah. So he'd actually have more points.
No, because he'd have Hunt plus whoever he'd start in Julio's stead.
We're going to take a quick pause. We'll be right back. We've got someone at the front door, a special guest perhaps. Sorry about that. Our commissioner's trying to sell a washing machine off the curb. First of all, how rudely he interrupted us is ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. He couldn't see that we're potting.
Who rings doorbells these days?
I know.
Like, he didn't even try the knock first.
No, there was no knock.
You definitely go knock first, and then you go doorbell.
It was lowbrow. I agree.
So we're on the Christian McCaffrey, Julio Jones for Kareem Hunt. I've already determined that Julio put up more points than Kareem Hunt did the week that the bye was needed. Hinton needed more than just one win, so... Really, he's trying to play for what he calls a keeper.
He won by 30 points, so
he had a great week for sure. But what we're talking about is did Hunt make the difference? No, he put up 7.8 points instead of playing his flex Corey Davis at 2.8. He could have played Julio at 8.3 and Tariq Cohen at 12. So your point is more than moot. Now, when we look at Hinton's team, and we've debunked the rumor that he wasn't trading for a keeper, which is complete bullshit. His team's 4-7. It's dog shit. He knows he's playing for next year. We look at odds, and when you're playing, we're gonna pause just a quick second. Well, that's great. Now, even though you try to pull the wool over everybody's eyes and say he's only trading for 1 week and all the bullshit, we know he's trying to trade for a keeper. So we go into odds now.
I can show you the text message that says, I need a win this week, and McCaffrey's on a bye.
Yeah, so he gave up a guy who put up more points than
so they come to me because they know I've got the goods, and I'm willing to do the things that everybody else won't do.
Rape. People want no raping, and that's fine. Now, where we start here, Don, is this.
Can we stop using that word?
Sure.
I just feel like it's
bullying, stealing, thievery.
All better, especially in context.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
So we're going here. Oh,
traditionally when you guys do the podcast, someone always brings in gifts.
Yeah.
So I thought you might want a little of the stew while you're just sitting here.
That's
long time listener.
Fantastic. Long time listener, 0-time caller, long time texter.
Yeah. You didn't get read the last one because you guys were too over the top.
Nobody fills up Ashley Sayers' inbox faster than Perry Tascona.
GM of Team the King. Thank you, GM.
He just brought us braised short rib stew.
Oh, it's fantastic. That's one of the best parts about American Thanksgiving, and it's so weird that he didn't let Mike touch this one because obviously he didn't want to ruin it.
We all remember the chili Mike. Nobody ever forgets the chili. Anyway, okay. Oh, this is going to be better as we eat.
I know, it's so good.
Eat stew during this.
You can listen to us chew on this braised beef. I'm sure Fiona did the whole thing too, of course, right?
Well, I don't know. Can't confirm or deny. But that's great. It's like soup made with gravy.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Holy shit.
So, now we've debunked the I need a win, I got to trade the best player for worse players. So, that's okay. That's fine. So, now we go on to, he was probably trading for a keeper because that's what this league's come to.
Which pisses me off.
Yeah. So
although I have 5 keepers.
So I ask you, Don, if there's an event in the world, okay?
An event
and
or
they're completely separate.
Did you say event or vent?
Event. Event.
An event, like something happens.
Something happens in the world.
Not like something that smoke turns out.
Yeah, not sports, whatever. Something occurs in the world.
Got it.
Something happens 3 times out of 10.
Yeah.
And something happens 7 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Betting odds are the same. Where are you going to put your money?
Right. Okay.
Where are you going to put your money?
On the 2. No, the 7 out of 10.
On the 7 out of 10. Of course. Right. So, from weeks 1 to 3, Kareem Hunt put up 80 points. From weeks 4 to 11, he put up 67.7. Now, where does that rank him on the running back rankings? Weeks 4 to 7. No, right now he's still number 2 because he put up 80 points in 3 weeks.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
But since then, you bank on the trend, right? 7 weeks in a row is more of a trend than 3 weeks in a row.
Okay.
You just said that yourself.
Yeah.
So now next year you're going to keep somebody.
Yeah.
You're looking at keeping a running back. Are you going to keep Dion Lewis?
No.
Well, why not? He's only put up half a point less per week than Kareem Hunt.
I wouldn't keep Kareem Hunt. My team's too good.
Exactly. So why would Hinton trade for him? I don't know. None of us know. What
He
running?
wasn't traded for an Ebert.
Yes, he
for
was.
A win.
We know he was. We already debunked that when he got rid of the better player in Julio. He gave away more points than he got in the win. So that's erroneous on all accounts.
Saying debunked.
I've debunked. Yeah, it's embarrassing that you're not coming around to that. Now, week 4 to week 11. What number running back is Kareem Hunt?
4 to 11?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's got to be top 15.
Ooh, almost. 16.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just shortly behind Duke Johnson, Tevin Coleman,
I've traded
Carlos
both those
Hyde.
guys. I haven't had
Dion
Carlos
Lewis?
Hyde this year yet.
Oh, just slightly above Isaiah Crowell.
Oh.
He's averaged
Who I hate.
He's averaged 1 point a week more per game than Isaiah Crowell
Well, good for
in
him.
weeks 4 to 11.
He's not on my team, so good for him now.
Also behind Christian McCaffrey, Ingram, Bell, Zeke, who's only played 5 games. Alvin Kamara, Todd Gurley, Melvin Gordon, Shady, Lamar Miller, Leonard Fournette, who's only played 5 games.
Those
Jerick
guys are
McKinnon,
all on my team.
Jordan Howard, Christian McCaffrey, Duke Johnson, Tevin Coleman, and Carlos Hyde. So Hinton, you're an idiot, and that has been trade raping with Don, and that's why keepers are stupid, and I'm tired of it. And everyone complains that Don wins every year, but everybody lets him do it. Let's eat our chili, and we'll be back with our first guest. Welcome back to the podcast. We have the commissioner. What's
going on, boys?
2 weeks in a
I'm
row.
back 2 weeks in a row.
2
You guys
weeks
can't
in
say
a
shit.
row.
Can I, in my defense, too,
Yeah.
you guys always say I've only called in once. I've called in twice, and I've been a guest twice.
This
We had
is
to
your
come.
second
We had
time
to
as a
come to your
guest.
house to be.
And I called in twice. You
We've
guys
never
always
gone
say
to
I've only
anybody
called in
else's
once.
guest.
I've
We
called
had
in
to
twice.
open the Jane and Emmy studios.
Yeah, the
Jane
mobile
and Emmy
studios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying. I'm 4 times on this show. How many weeks have you done it?
12.
And I've been 4 of them. So 33% of the fucking shows.
20, 30.
0.333 repeating,
Yeah,
of course.
times pi. Now, question for you: is money a little bit tight this month?
Money tight.
Well, it's awfully cold in this dungeon that you've put us in.
Turn the
podcast.
fireplace. There's a fireplace right next to you.
I gotta chop wood.
I
and
can make
throw
it
on
real.
myself.
It's a gas fireplace, people. Don't listen to this idiot.
I'll send you a picture. It's definitely wood. He has brought a gift that he sloughed from a
not
fellow,
me.
a fellow neighbor.
I didn't even buy it.
Cheers.
But you're welcome.
Cheers.
You're welcome.
Cheers to not burning anything and to the Whiskey Barrel Podcast.
Yeah.
And I'd like just to add to this as well.
It's everybody's favorite part.
Yeah.
Mikey, we're going to talk to your team.
Okay.
Just because we've got most of the GMs here today, so we.
Are you gonna do your job and like dictate the conversation this time rather than just yell at me?
You stop looking to the left when you should be looking to the right.
Sorry, let
Donovan.
me look over here.
I didn't yell at anybody. I wasn't
He
here.
definitely just walked out of the room.
It wasn't me. I wasn't here.
My favorite part of the podcast last week was at the very end when he went, "Are we recording?"
Wasn't here.
In a word, it was embarrassing.
Yeah.
It was a little embarrassing.
So I'm just going to read Mike's team out
Sure.
here. Tom Brady, Jay Ajayi, Danny Woodhead, Adam Thielen, Marvin Jones, Delaney Walker, Duke Johnson, Falcons D, notable bench players, CJ Anderson, Robbie Anderson, likes the Andersons, Charles Clay, a little bit of a sleeper there, Jared Goff, he's a matchup dependent, but not bad, Marquise Lee, hot waiver wire ad, and Theo Riddick, I don't know why he's still on
Can I put a little... Can I add something to what you just said?
This is your segment. Let's go for it.
Okay, so
Whatever you
I
get to.
think that my team, and when you say it out loud, I agree.
does not sound sexy at all. It doesn't.
It's like calling Larry Fitz the number 5 wide receiver and not wanting to trade for him.
That's the definition of unsexy.
If his name was Julio Jones or Mike Evans,
but can I
or
say
anybody,
this as well? I am tied for the lead in the league as far as win-loss.
Yep.
If I hadn't fucked up, and yes, I fucked up. We've talked about it many times
ad nauseum, and we're going to.
If I hadn't, I would be the sole lead right now. I would be the number 1 lead. And I'm I believe I'm either 3rd or 4th in points for.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I mean.
Why are you on the defensive?
Because you guys every week you talk about how shitty my team is.
No, that's not when we're not talking to your face, though.
Yeah,
I mean, we're
and
face to face
usually
now.
it
We're
says you as a human being.
Right.
Team.
So it's really just you trying to get me fired up because you really like the scene. You really seem to want to get me fired up.
Listen to
I'm getting a little fired up right now.
We're not talking about your players. We're talking about your lack of ability to run a league and your lack of ability to cook food. That's just and parent. That's it. Those are the 3 things that we're doing.
I'm a great parent. I'm a fantastic
Your team
parent.
is fine.
Cooking food will give you.
By all accounts, you're good. By all accounts, you're good at your job, but everything else is a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
So
if I were to say anything about my team, I would say yes, I'm weak at running back. It's a crapshoot any week.
Yeah.
J.J. could have a good week. Danny Woodhead,
We're
very
not
unseen,
sure.
very
highly hyped,
improved,
highly hyped.
But it might have been a good pickup. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
My wide receivers are not sexy. Adam Thielen, of course, has come through and worked for me and done a great job.
Yeah.
Marvin Jones, not sexy, but every week performs. It's just,
lately for sure he's come around.
and same
Adam
with
Thielen is like
same
the
with
Larry Fitz.
Robbie Anderson was a great pick too. I think that was a great. I'm super happy with Robbie Anderson. I'm always comfortable putting him in when he's
as he sits on your bench right now.
I don't think you've ever. Have
okay,
you ever
so
started
who
him?
would you? Robbie Anderson. I've
over
started
Duke
many
Johnson?
times.
Okay.
Duke Johnson. Who's he playing this week?
Cincinnati, they're terrible.
Yeah,
Robbie Anderson has Carolina. You don't love that.
don't love it.
All right.
And tight end has been fine.
You're
I've been
gonna roll
fine at tight
Delaney
end.
Walker. You don't care. It doesn't matter.
Well, I got that in the trade, right? I got Delaney Walker with Brady.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about trade raping.
Oh,
already.
you didn't talk about that. You didn't talk about how I gave Carson Wentz for Doug Martin. And you didn't talk about how I gave Tom Brady for Duke Johnson Jr.
It wasn't done.
I got Tom
against-
Brady, Duke Johnson, and
Delaney
Walker. That was
For?
not a bad trade.
He's telling me that I'm the worst trader and all I do is
I
kill
did not tell
everybody
you
else's
yet.
team.
You're the worst trader. I told you.
Oh, we got a call. Can we put him on?
You're live on the Whiskey Barrel podcast, Brad.
Awesome. Can you send Mike tell me how to get the help?
Yeah, I'll send him up. Okay.
It's like you never even saw that we were gone. And
We weren't gone. Were
We've
we
dodged
gone?
the issue for some reason. I don't know about you guys, but when I build a home, I put the lock on the bathroom on the inside of the door, not the outside.
This is my lovely neighbor walking by.
I can't believe you can see people outside this frozen tundra dungeon you've stuck us in to record. You know, Wendy Law, she provides us with gabagool. She provides us with things. You got your neighbor to bring us Fireball and your friend to cook us chili. So
I provided the house today for this wonderful event.
I put
Oh,
kind
and as if we haven't heard all about that all day. Look at where you guys are watching football. Look at where you guys
Because
are doing
I've
the podcast.
said that even
You've
once.
sloughed off all the duties as per usual because you're king of the
You guys
slough.
are such fucking...
Why are you so hot right now?
Because you talk shit about me constantly.
Oh,
and
God,
I do
it's
nothing
good.
but cater
Good.
to you
Yeah,
people.
get it
When
hot.
you're
I was
an
begging for it last
You're
week.
Mike-
I'll give it to you right now. I'm getting a little ready. I'll give you one more shot of Fireball. And I will
all
fucking tee off
fired
on
up.
you.
As an adult, when I'm sure you get invited to other adults' homes for dinner or other things, right?
Because you guys are adults?
No,
Please.
we're fucking infants.
We have a podcast,
Yeah.
for Christ's sake.
It's not even a podcast. It's just a YouTube video with a stupid picture on it. It just because it says podcast in the
made
name.
it.
It's not
doesn't
even a
mean-
pod. It's not even a podcast.
I think I can
We
just-
keep calling it a podcast. It's not even a podcast.
Hey, it's not a lie if you believe it, Mike. Come on now. Now, when you go to someone's
I'm
house
giving
for
you guys
dinner,
way too much credit.
someone invites you over for dinner and you go to their house. Has that happened to you
Yeah,
before?
yeah.
Now, did they ask you to bring the dinner and the booze and everything else when you came.
So I was supposed to feed all you turkeys?
5 people brought dinner. So you would have asked not 1, but 5 people.
I made potato skins. They're yet to come out. Just wait.
You know, I think they're still in the oven.
That's what that smell is.
I knew I smelled something.
It's going to be good.
All
right, let's get back to your team. You got a big week matchup.
I want to know what you guys think about my team. I've said what I think about my team. Do you think obviously I make the playoffs?
I think have you clinched? Or no, not yet. No one's clinched yet.
No one's clinched. I don't think anyone's clinched.
This week we'll have some clarification.
Based on my team, are you scared of my team at all?
No.
You're not. You think, no problem, if I face Mike, I'm definitely going to beat him.
I think your team is going to put up between 90 and 100 points.
Which is solid.
And I have always said and I've maintained that's what you want. And so you can beat anybody, and I think you can lose to anybody in the playoffs.
100%.
And that's what you want to
go.
So
you're not scared, but you're not comfortable.
No, I think
it's not a walk in the park by any stretch.
No.
But I tell you what, I think your team looks a lot better with Jay Ajayi and Alvin Kamara and Robbie Anderson as opposed to Danny Woodhead and Adam Thielen.
You can't even think about making that trade when you won't even trade for the number 5 wide receiver.
So what do you want to do?
He does it in front of me, and he
What
won't
do you
even
wanna
trade.
do?
He
You
won't
see
even
how
make
this
a
trade
deal.
thing works, people?
What is it? Say it again. Tell me the trade.
I'm just saying, like, I'll give you one of my backs, and you move Thielen.
I will give you a better wide receiver than Thielen.
What's he doing?
Oh, he picked up that big girl.
She better not listen to the pod.
So she doesn't. There's no fear there.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, she just rolled by, and then he
she's
ran
just
running.
a woman. You didn't
she's not the most attractive lady, but
Why
she's got
are
the
we
biggest
even talking
guns you
about
ever
that?
seen.
Why is the fucking door open? This is a fucking clusterfuck.
Okay, I'm going to excuse myself. Thank you for having me on the podcast.
We're happy to have you. Thanks for coming.
I'm gonna move away and let someone else come join you guys because this is always entertaining, but I want to take up all the time. And I'm also gonna go see what the fuck's going on with my neighborhood right now. So thank you.
Thanks for coming on, Mikey. We appreciate it. Thanks for having us at your lovely abode, and we welcome the next guest in just a quick short break here.
This isn't what the podcast is about?
We have now got our next special guest. Yeah. He's here for the ladies. He just
Always.
found out it's not video, so he's disappointed.
Yeah.
Put my hat back on.
He adjusted a lot of things thinking that it was.
Former assistant to the GM of Team Find Me at the Galladay Inn, formerly known as... I don't even know who
they were. The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead.
We were the Walking Dead.
And you were till like last week too, because Hinton just couldn't get it together.
Well, he's a lazy motherfucker.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the podcast, Mr. Ernest Mitchell.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
You're actually technically still co-GM because our commissioner is such a lazy piece of shit.
Well, and I'm getting all the emails and seeing all the trades that are getting
pushed
around.
So you have access.
100%. That's why I'm saying. That's why I've been coming to Dono and saying, wow, what raping and pillaging is going on? Unbelievable.
Now, why have you not, when you've seen what your former co-GM has done, have you not sent him a kind text message and said, hey, step your game up or fix your shit if you're seeing all the emails?
Well, I have. I've reached out to him a couple times, and I told him that I might make my triumphant return next
season?
Next year, yeah.
We all want you back.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to be back, too. I'm hoping that, and I can't imagine that he won't take me because ever since I left, he's completely plummeted.
It's been a nose
He went
dive.
from the number 1 seed, and granted, we went out first in the playoffs.
That is what it is. That's any given Sunday.
These things
We've
happen.
all been there.
But we were the number 1 seed, and now, I've left, and we see what he's all about.
Just former Bears players.
Yeah. And he texted me, too. He's like,
Of course he did.
He's
He
like,
wants help.
I'm so excited. I've got no Panthers on my team. He hates every Panther that there is out there.
Why?
He's like, I don't like Cam Newton. I don't like this person. I have none of them on my team. He's so proud of it. I was like, well, you might want to think about having some of these guys on your team.
And what if maybe that's part of the McCaffrey deal? Maybe that's why he made that trade.
I want to trade a good player for a worse player.
Whatever.
Yeah, you should have interrupted that email, Ernest. Fuck.
Yeah, and I don't understand the logic behind keeper because if you're looking at what Kareem Hunt's been doing over the last few weeks here, keeping him is just
Don't
not
worry,
really...
he's got it all written
Don't
down.
worry.
Oh, no.
Over the last 7 weeks, he is the number 16 running back, just averaging less than a point per game more than Isaiah Crowell, Joe Mixon, Orleans Starkwa, Amir Abdullah, and Latavius Murray. Deion was right behind Carlos Hyde, Tevin Coleman, and Duke Johnson. So, I mean, Of course, you want to keep an RB2, right? Like,
why wouldn't you want that as your number 1 pick overall?
I would love to have a number 16 running back as my first overall pick at number 1 overall.
And he gave up Julio for that?
And McCaffrey.
Just so that we don't have to beat a dead horse.
Sorry, McCaffrey, who's number 12 for a number 16. McCaffrey, a number 12, and Julio, top wide receiver, for a number 16.
Stop saying it's a keeper. His keeper
move.
this year was Jordan, whatever the hell is it, Jordan Howard.
He didn't keep anybody, and he drafted Jordan Howard in the first round.
In the sixth overall, and he's going to keep him for next year. So there's no even option for keeper.
So
he should have kept on Julio then.
That was even worse trade then.
So he should have kept Julio so he could keep him in the second round.
That was even
Look,
worse.
I can only come up with so much.
You can keep trying to circle back and make excuses for your collusion, but it's not
collusion.
Yeah,
Collusion with everyone in the league, except for one notable exception, Larry Fitzgerald.
you don't want the number 5 because he's of his name. That's it.
You know, coming from the PPR and having Larry Fitz on my team, he's been quite the addition. He's someone that you might want to have on your radar.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about
Now, would you rather Kareem Hunt for Larry Fitzgerald or Kareem Hunt for Julio Jones and Christian McCaffrey? Is that even a question?
Now, would you? Now, would
Thank
you? Now, in October, would you trade Larry Fitz? Or sorry, no, this is a couple weeks ago. Larry Fitz and Deion Lewis for Alvin Kamara. Now, the trade that was made was Dez for Alvin Kamara and Golden Tate. Instead.
Oh, I got Alvin.
And
Who would you rather have, Dez or Larry Fitz?
Always Larry Fitz.
Who would you rather have, no one or Deion Lewis? It's curious. If you could have just nobody on your team, say, who's the worst player in the league? Have him or Deion Lewis?
That's close, but yeah, it would probably still be the worst player.
Okay. Yeah, of course. I rest my case. Cheers to the Whiskey Barrel Podcast. Thank you for coming on.
No, I'm very happy.
What do you think about the fantasy season thus far? You're in 2 of your own leagues?
He's in our PPR league.
I'm in the PPR league.
I actually just waxed me by 100 points.
Yeah, 211 points.
It was a
I've
big
never
week.
seen that. I've never seen that.
I've got not a whole lot of things.
Cowboys fan outside.
And I don't like them.
I don't have a whole lot of things on my plate right now, so I had the time to go back to the start of the the start of the PPR league and see what was the high score. And yes, I did put up the high score.
100%.
Nice. Do you know what second was?
207 by Sean in the 2014 playoffs.
Oh, good for him. Oh, in the playoffs too.
Yeah,
Power.
in the playoffs. Yeah.
I don't believe he won, but still.
No, he certainly didn't, because that was the year I won.
So that's is that DeMarc? I'm a bad
DeMarc. Uh-oh! He's a bad man.
Yeah.
That was the glory.
So you're the highest score. If you don't want to take the shot, you don't have to take
I'm
it.
taking it.
Yeah, usually when you hand someone a shot.
A shot. Say cheers.
Yeah,
You hit the table, because Don likes hitting the table. You don't have to dump it all over
I
the
don't
map.
like hitting the table.
I know you don't.
Okay. Anyways, so if you want, do you want to talk about the ayahuasca warriors, or what do you want to talk about here?
I mean,
what's something that's interested you in fantasy this year? Like,
What's going on with the Cowboys? I know you like Dez. I know you're pulling for Dak. What's happening?
To be completely honest, I'm not following it any sort of way. What I've really done is, when I went down to Peru, I got in touch with the football gods.
okay,
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they speak to me now. They speak to me on a very high and intimate level. And that's why outside of Dono here, I'm 200 points up on anyone else in that PPR league.
yeah.
So, I just here to really advocate the use of ayahuasca, and I feel like more people should be doing it if they want to have like really good success in fantasy football.
If you want to speak to people, get on the ayahuasca.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't even know what that is, but I might try it.
It's great. If you like hallucinogens, it's
Oh,
great up
perfect.
there. Yeah.
It's not what we're about here on the Whiskey Barrel Podcast.
Can
We're
you
strictly PG.
Can you give us a brief rundown of what the effects of ayahuasca are, or how you administer ayahuasca? Listen, this is I believe is ayahuasca even legal here?
I assume it's a suppository.
It's illegal. I tried the I can't even speak.
Suppository.
Thank you. I tried it that way, and it just really gave me more the runs in it.
End of the day,
it came right back
when you put something up there, you expect it to come out eventually.
Okay,
right?
so what's the traditional way? Like, how are you supposed? Is it you drink it? Do you
much
smoke
like
it?
this? Yeah, much like this fireball that we had. It's a shot, And
That's it.
It's grotesque. It's very grotesque.
What does it taste like? Is it warm, cold?
It's like moldy coffee. It's like moldy coffee.
God.
Yeah, and it gets substantially worse the more and more you do it. But but you keep coming back to the well. You keep coming back to the well.
Keep feeding that runny back.
100%.
Do you chase it, or are you supposed to take it naturally?
No. Some people were chasing it with cigarettes.
Cigarettes.
Yeah, they call it mupacho down there, but I was like, I know a cigarette when I see one. But yeah, that's what people were basically doing, was taking shots of this stuff and smoking it by the boatload.
Okay, so this is what you do. You sit in a circle, you sit by yourself. What do you do?
You're in a big maloka, which is basically a big hut.
Okay.
Everyone's in there. There's about 10 or 12 of us.
Is it
Pitch
open
black.
air?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, very open.
But warm.
Yeah, well, you're in the middle of the fucking jungle in Peru,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's
Okay.
definitely not cool.
So you're sitting on the floor, you have a chair.
You're sitting on a very thin mattress.
Okay, and what
Like when you're at a Japanese restaurant, they give you that little skinny pillow to sit on at the bench.
100%.
like
yeah.
but a personal one, or is everybody?
Yeah, no, everyone's got you've got your own personal space. They blow out the lights, you take the medicine, and you sit there for a good 20, 30 minutes just...
Talking?
No, and just in complete fear of what's about to hit you. Very nervous. And then...
And everybody's just awkwardly staring at each other because you all think you're going to get hit first and freak out.
You're
Right?
waiting to see who's going to lose it first.
Well, that's the good thing about it being in pitch black. You don't have to look at people face to face.
Oh.
But a funny story is that I went with Nick, who's a member of one of these leagues. I'm pretty sure.
No, he has
he
no
was.
knowledge
He gave
of
up.
it.
He was just like you, a little on the fence.
He has no
because
knowledge of football, though.
because of the trip.
Fair
Because
enough.
of the trip.
So we went down
He
there
actually made
together.
the playoffs last year in our other league.
Yeah, but there's teams that drafted Mason Crosby in the third round.
Yeah, okay.
So,
Okay,
It's
sorry.
a high-level league.
Okay, I want to get more into this. Sorry.
Yeah, that's nice.
So you're there, so you take it. It's pitch black. You can hear other people. Nobody's really talking, but you're aware that they're all around.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay, and there's like a
There's
there's
6 for 90 yards.
no,
Chargers.
Wow. Chargers defense.
that was a big
Dak.
pick 'em
Big
up.
pickup.
Dak's going to put up another bagel.
So okay, so you're there. It's I know
Let
you
me
want to
tell-
talk about the Cowboys, Corey, but we're talking about hallucinogens in the jungle.
Come on.
Okay, so it's all there. So now, does it start to kick in? Do you know what it feels like before it kicks in? Are you like, oh, is it one of those classic, oh, I don't feel it yet, I should do more?
Yeah, it's 100. For the most part, yeah, it's definitely that. A lot of people, especially the first time, they'll take their little bit, they'll sit there for about an hour just sitting there, literally in the pitch black. And then eventually, one of the facilitators will come by, ask you, how you feel, and you tell them you haven't really felt anything.
Yeah.
And then they get you to throw up.
How do they get you to throw up? Oh my god.
Yeah, no, it's really kind of a nasty way of doing it. They make you, and again, you would have had to have tried this ayahuasca, but you take a little bit of the ayahuasca, and you just hold it in your mouth, and it's like holding watery shit in your mouth.
That's
Yeah, no, it really, truly is, and then instantly you throw up. Instantly through. Like a guy like yourself, Dono, I don't know if you would survive very
You wouldn't
well.
even need to put
Yeah.
the thought in his head.
Because you've got people throwing up
Yeah.
all around you. And we've got these big, huge puke buckets, and you can really hear it. It's just like, splash! Like, yeah.
Shut up.
It's fantastic always watching.
I
them do
can't.
this. But
I
yeah.
can't do that.
No,
Just,
you-
I don't have the stomach for
No,
that.
you wouldn't last very long.
No, I wouldn't.
But once you
So why do they make you throw it up? What's the point of that? What's
Clean the
It's-
nothing in your system.
It's a whole thing. I could really get into it, but it's kind of long and boring. But the point of it is that it's for you to purge, get out all the bad stuff, and that's when Mother Ayahuasca really tries to come in there and take over. And wow, she will take you on a wild, dirty ride.
So if you can try it for the layman's, because all I've ever heard is what do you call it? Fractals. Fractals is always the word that I hear.
Fractals.
Like you just see like shapes, but 4D shapes or whatever it is.
Oh yeah, that's how it'll start. It was almost like a dream catcher, the way that it's weaved, the different colors, and it was just really this web.
Okay.
And then eventually you get pulled into another fucking dimension, and it's really kind of weird to talk about because if you haven't experienced it, it's kind of strange. Oh, you're going into different galaxies. Sure you are, you big fucking weirdo.
What do you mean different galaxies?
just different dimensions, man. Like,
so you're completely in your head. You're not seeing anything, kind of thing. Like almost as if dreaming.
100%, but it's too real, man. It's too real. I honestly, I honestly felt like, and without getting too deep, that I got to see what it's like on the other side.
On the other side of what?
Of life.
Oh, like if you were dead, what it would be like?
Yeah.
Or like what it was like before you were alive?
No, exactly. Both those things. I think we're just this energy that goes on forever and ever and ever, and what we are right now is just like a physical form of this energy. But the dimensions and different ways of living are infinite, and I definitely felt like I saw that.
Now, how has that helped you in the football? Bringing it full circle. Coming back to.
So, how do you feel about Theo Riddick?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, again, I guess more than anything, it just cleared my mind and let me focus more. So now, since I've been focusing more, I've been dominating.
I like it. I like it, man.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about? You want to mention?
No, I'm just excited for you guys, man. You've got a room full of people back here that are just dying to get onto this thing and want to hear their name dropped and all this other
of course.
stuff.
That's what it's all
They
about.
want to hear their own voice, and your own voice sucks when you hear it back.
It's
More
terrible.
times than not.
It's brutal. Like, you're going to listen to just this part. You're going to fast forward to 40 minutes, and you're going to be like, I sound like an idiot. What am I fucking talking about? I'm seeing dimensions? What?
That's the real shit,
I'm
though.
puking and baby shit in my mouth?
Yeah. Well, I'm a high-end fantasy football guy, so that's the kind of stuff you want to talk
That's the kind of dedication it takes to win, is
100%.
go to a different hemisphere and see fractals.
Yeah, drink shit water.
Would you recommend anybody else, any of our listeners, go try it?
Oh, I highly recommend every single one in the world to go do this stuff.
Wow.
It is the most powerful.
And you can only do it in Peru, or is it a world thing?
You could definitely do it other places, but Peru is definitely where you want to do
it there. It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing, and they've been doing it for thousands of years. And if you really want to kind of see what's lying real deep beneath the layers there, go have yourself a trip with Mother Ayahuasca.
Like, if you want gabagool, you go to Rome.
Yes.
You want to drink shit water, you go to Peru.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I love it. All right.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
We're glad to have you, and enjoy the rest of the American Thanksgiving.
All right, boys, appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Great show.
That's the assistant to the co-GM of Team Find Me at the Holiday Inn, formerly the Des Dispenser.
Co-owner.
Well, you're in last place, so I'm trying to detach you as much as possible. Now, I know things kind of got off the rails.
Wait, are we on?
Yeah, we're back at it.
Hello.
Things got off the rails a little bit. We went sideways. We tried to bring it full circle. Don was enlightened, and we thank our last guest. But now, the GM of Team the French, always battling, always grinding, always wearing his Panthers gear.
Always trying to do anything I possibly can to get into the goddamn playoffs.
Always mucking in the corner.
He's always mucking it up. He's in that like 7, 8, 9 range every year.
It's right now. He's in 10th.
He's grinding though. He's got that
I'm
tie.
fighting. My team is good. It's just not showing up.
Okay, so let's run down his team real quick. Cam
Except
Newton.
for my.
Could you let me run down?
Yeah.
Cam Newton, Tevin Coleman, Alex Collins, Alshon Jeffrey, Michael Thomas, Rob Gronkowski, Jack Doyle. As your flex, I hate that.
That was a today thing.
Hey,
it might be changing.
Just relax. Eagles D. You've got injuries with Devonta Freeman, but like any smart owner, which is great, you've got him backed up with Tevin Coleman, so that's who you're starting. Sterling Shepard, Amari Cooper, Eli McGuire, J.D. McQuaid, Josh Gordon. Give up on that.
He did make a good trade. He picked up Michael Thomas and Amari Cooper for
I gave away Hyde.
That's a good deal for you, though.
Yeah, you got enough running back depth.
It was a great deal. Yeah. It was good at the time.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper, though, you play him, do you not play him?
No, you don't play him.
When you play him, he does bad. When you don't play him, he does good.
Yeah.
Boomer bust, the classic.
Oh, he's got Denver this week, does he not?
He does have Denver, which I don't know. Who cares? What's Denver now?
He got 0.5 points the last time he played Denver.
Exactly. That's my own.
That's two catches for less than 10.
Hence why Jack Doyle is in my flex. Mm-hmm. I'm playing Jack Doyle over Amari Cooper. If they're listening, if the NFL's listening, Amari Cooper, I'm playing Jack Doyle over you.
What about if I just slide Christian McCaffrey your way for Michael Thomas?
I can't do that. Look at my rest of my receivers. Who else am I going to put in? Unless you got something to give me on the return. But I got no other receivers.
I'll give you Golden Tate. And Christian McCaffrey.
Golden Tate that got 2 points today. I'm playing for playoffs here.
You're starting Jack Doyle.
Yeah, yeah. But if I give you, then I'm starting even worse. I'm playing Golden Tate.
All right.
I would take that deal.
You take the deal I offered?
Golden Tate and Christian McCaffrey for Michael Thomas?
Of course you would.
100%.
I've
tried to trade you Larry Fitz.
You know what's fair?
I'll trade you Larry Fitz for Golden Tate.
No. You know what's going to be great on this? And I don't want you to say that I've said this, but we're going to start this podcast with you trashing my trades. And then I'm going to offer every single person who sits down a trade that you're going to go, wow, you should really make that trade.
Yes.
And I'm going to see how, and so that the listeners can watch in real time. We started with this. Let's keep this going. So as you can see, I offered Paul a trade. Corey says you should absolutely do that. Paul laughs and starts Jack Doyle. And
then I turn around and offer you Larry Fitz, and you say no.
He's old.
For Michael Thomas, Larry Fitz is number 5.
He keeps saying number 5.
What's Michael Thomas at?
15.
15? Yeah, not number 5. Can't help you out with that.
Sorry, if Larry Fitz's name was Michael Thomas, you'd do that deal. Anyway, Paul Alano.
Yeah, but Michael Thomas, they're also running the ball all kinds. I don't know. I like him still. I still
Nixon.
like...
Nixon. Shh.
He's mad at that guy because he's wearing his toque above his ears.
That's a fisherman toque, but he's not even fishing.
And what was that? Having white socks that were... He tucked his jeans into?
He's trying to stay warm.
Can you see why he was upset?
Yeah, Nix, I'm sorry that I yelled at you. It's fine.
You were to keep your ears warm.
So how are you feeling about your team, Paul?
What do you need, buddy? Where are we? We're in 10. We got 3 weeks left. You need to win out,
To be honest,
right?
my team needs to show up. I need Cam Newton to go for his 30 points. I need Tevin Coleman to do something if Devontae Freeman's going to be out.
Yeah.
Alshon Jeffrey, is he going to get 2 touchdowns? Is he going to get 1? Who knows? Michael Thomas
gets a lot of catches.
I just need them to throw in New England. And Gronkowski, by the way, freaking ruined the week for me last week with 3 points.
Didn't do nothing.
How the hell is Tom Brady going to throw 4 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns and Gronk is not one of them?
Yeah,
I'm having a bad week.
He had 2 called back. I'm not sure about Alex Collins here. He had a great week last week.
Yeah.
I have him in a couple leagues. I traded him in a few leagues.
He's still the number 1 running back there right now.
I know. And you've got Woodhead as just a complimentary third down. But,
exactly. So I think that he gets better with Woodhead in that sense because there's a lot more. The defenses have a lot more to fear than they did before.
Yeah, I hear you.
They can't just stack the box and stop him because they don't have much to throw to.
Exactly.
So then the plan here is just rest on the laurels.
If Sterling Shepard wasn't sick, I'd be thinking about that trade with you a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is Sterling Shepard ever going to play football again?
I don't know.
We hope so.
Migraines could take anybody out of any game.
Yeah.
But right now, it's looking 57-6 for the Oakland Reindeers.
Wow.
Phillip Rivers with 39 points, and the defense goes off for freaking what?
Oh my God. Sully pickup of the week. Phillip Rivers and the Chargers for 57 points.
Yeah.
And this is a battle of the 4-6-1 to the 5-6-0.
And he gets Greg Olsen back this week. I don't know. If Sully beats me this week, he's in the playoffs. He's a solid fucking play.
Wow.
He's gonna... Yeah.
Wow. Sully, Mr. Waiver Wire. And here we go. Yeah. Oh, okay.
So what are your thoughts? Moving forward... Are you in? You feel confident? You think you're going to make it?
I feel confident in my team. I feel that Phillip Rivers, I think Cam Newton could equal out the same points, if not maybe a little bit more. I think my running backs do have a little bit up on Sully.
Yep.
I do feel like my receivers do have an up as well. And my tight end.
I agree.
On paper, it looks like you're in a better spot.
You have Rob Gronkowski. You have the best tight
and
end
the Eagles
in the
D, I do think are going to put up another game against Chicago.
Yeah,
that rookie quarterback is still going to throw up the picks, and I think the defense, the front, is just going to kill them.
Yeah.
It sucks that my kicker. I know we don't like kickers on this podcast, but it sucks that they only got 6 points.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to really help me.
Yeah.
But
I don't think you're out of it.
No.
I think he's lucky that he's gotten that much off of those 2 players.
Now, do I think Marshawn Lynch is going to run against Denver? Probably not.
No.
Do I think Carlos Hyde is going to run in Seattle? No one has. Well, actually, he did.
Doesn't matter. He's not going to.
I don't know. Open.
Okay, this is for this week. It's exactly how the philosophy you just put forth. It's your team just has to show up.
That's right.
That's all that needs to happen here. And that's okay. Like, you're happy about that, right?
I'm 100% happy with
How do you
that.
feel about the year so far? Anything standing out to you at all? Or are you feeling good about your Panthers? They're coming back. Cam's looking good lately.
Football standard, I think I cannot not be happy.
Yeah.
Out of fantasy football, which is the number one thing that does matter all in all. When I'm sitting down Sunday morning and just looking at games, I'm not just looking at the Panthers play. I'm sorry, I'm on Red Zone as well.
Yeah.
So it's not looking good. I'm not happy about this year, but if I make it into playoffs, good luck to the teams that are in front of me. If I don't make it to the dance, then next year.
You hope to get that number 1 seed in the consolation bracket.
That's it. I'm still going to fight for it. I'm still going to go all the way to the end. And I think if anybody does give up, they're wasting their money.
Absolutely. No one's out of it. Everyone's in it. And that's great to hear. Well, hopefully you have some good luck through the rest of the year. We're always pulling for it for you. You're only a game and a half back of first place, so you're not even that far out in the West Division. And it looks like only a game out of the playoffs, so we're pulling for you. That tie could help you.
That tie, I think, is
It
the
could
one
help you.
question that I had at the beginning, and I would like to look down. And I think I'm the one that got 2 ties 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
That's why I sent a text originally. I think it was episode 3. Ties pissed me off. Let's just win games. Fuck ties.
You just dropped Hunter Henry. You
Yeah,
put up 14.3 points.
I think I mentioned that before. I think my heart died a little bit in that game. It's still going.
Well, thanks for stopping by.
Well, hold
we
on,
really
hold on.
appreciate it. Oh, you got one more to
I
finish
got one
it
more
off?
thing. I got
All
one
right,
more question.
hit us with it.
So we just went on a tangent about Ernest and his experiences down in Peru. As a French-Canadian boy yourself, best poutine in the city.
Best poutine in the city, hands down. La Belle Patate. If you are downtown, go
Davie.
on Davie Street. You'll never have anything better.
Davie and where?
They do have,
Where's it on Davie?
It's on Davie and Butte. It's right next to the liquor store. So if you need to pick yourself up some
great.
Fireball at the same time, have yourself a Fireball, have yourself a poutine, and you're gonna have a great time.
So that holds true because you told me about La Belle Patate probably about 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah, and you had it, and I think you raved about it.
It's tremendous. I'll go out of the way just to go there, just to get to-go food to eat poutine.
It's
at
not
home by
easy to
myself.
get there. It's just SkyTrain's
No,
not closed.
so
nothing.
you have to
right?
walk up Robson and
Yeah.
then you go to.
It is bus
Davie.
friendly, but who takes a bus nowadays?
No, you take a
Homeless
cab
people.
for $6. We're not homeless. Okay, we don't use our hybrid vehicles. We get in cabs. You know, we own homes. Anyways, so yeah, okay, La Belle Patate.
La Belle Patate.
You heard it here first. Let's do a little quick cheers.
Finish it off with the Fireball. Thanks for joining us, Paul Alon.
Thanks for
Good
having
luck
me
the
on.
rest of the year, the next 3 weeks, and hopefully we'll see you in the playoffs. We're back at it here. We've
Danny Woodhead. I can't even start Christian McCaffrey and Danny Woodhead.
Yeah, you asked too much for Dick.
Oh, okay. We'll do this on the side, okay? You're hostile again. All right, people, you got a little snippet of that. That's Mikey in the real life. When the mic gets hot, Mike gets cold.
I'm hot.
When the mic gets cold, Mike gets hot. All
We're
right.
here with the GM,
The
and
GM.
former guest,
Yes.
GM of the Oakland Reindeers, on a hot streak.
Hot
Coming in
streak.
When you
A
want to
warm
come in hot to
streak.
the
warm streak.
He's coming in hot. He's guns a-blazing. He thought he was out, but he's back, and he's in the mix. It's
not
and
over
he's
yet.
coming for a playoff spot.
He is.
He's already got 50 points this week
Yeah, he's
on 2 players.
He's trending in the right direction. Sneaky pickups from Uncle Saul here. We got a pickup of Phillip Rivers. That was last week, correct?
No, he's been on my bench all year.
Oh.
On and off the bench. you
Okay,
know.
but then you just beat me out for a waiver claim for the Chargers D
Yeah,
for
that's
this year.
true. That was a
For
sneaky
this
pickup.
week,
That's
sorry.
good.
So you just picked him up today, started them, and that's 18 points from your D.
how you
And
get started.
39 points for Phillip Rivers. What is the who's the quarterback that you sat?
Derek Carr.
Oh, right. What are you going to do with Derek Carr?
I'd probably sit him on his ass for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I would recommend just kicking him to the curb, but
So what do you want for Derek Carr?
oh, wow. Now we're talking. Now we're
Shit.
talking trade.
What?
Shit, because I've
he
got
has
Dak,
Dak
who's put up
Prescott.
7 points
That's
on his
not
3
Dumpster
weeks.
fire.
Well, wouldn't you rather have Jared Goff?
Sure.
I need to set
Let's not do this as a whole thing.
Ooh, yeah, we could.
All right, we'll
podcast
do this
all
on the
night.
side.
Or Tom Brady?
Not sorry.
Tom Brady.
I'm going to
Good
interrupt the
Tom Brady.
podcast quickly.
I
Sorry
need to
for
set-
For those not paying attention, today is also trade deadline day, so there is a lot of talk going on trades.
Yes.
There's a lot of heat going on.
Yeah.
It's why we brought up the situation with Kareem Hunt being the number 17 running back. It's why we bring up... Yeah, there's a lot of stats.
He goes, I just had a light lunch, and
a lot of stats, and we just brought up how Dono trade raped Hinton. That's
Stop.
The rape word is hard on the
That's
ears.
what I said. I said we're using it like it's not. We're throwing it
And
around.
you can just talk about illegal drug
It's
use
and
yelling at your neighbor.
Look
I
at it
believe
in
that's one
writing,
of
though.
two of the Ten
And a homeless
Commandments.
guy came here
Yeah,
to
that's three
try
of
to
the Ten
steal a
Commandments.
washing machine.
Yeah.
It's wild.
River Springs, baby.
In Andy and Janer's podcast
River
studios.
Springs. You can yell at your neighbor, pick up a washing machine on the side of the road, and not get Wi-Fi. That's it.
That's literally
all in 1 hour. All in 1 hour.
All in an hour. Yeah. Sign the petition. Go fuck yourself.
For those of you who aren't aware, Mike literally had some woman come to the door.
She wanted to add a speed bump in front of the school
Yeah.
because too many kids were getting run over, and Mike said, "Fuck
and she
off,
said,
I'm drunk."
I know you. He said, "I know you don't want to do this work, but I'm willing to be a civil servant here."
Mike? I thought it was the owner,
The commish, the commish.
Well, it's trade deadline.
Okay,
so
whatever.
It's a wrap.
Fast and loose.
Everybody knows that.
And then she said, "I'd
Yeah,
like
the
you
dots
to
have been connected there.
I'd like you to sign off. I'd like you to sign off on me being your representative for the Strata." Mike said, "I don't want you to be," and laughed at her and slammed the door in her face.
In my defense,
With a
she
beer
told
in his
me-
hand.
She told me to do what I'm told.
Yes, she did.
And sign it.
Yeah, and then you said,
And like any
"Not
good
a
man,
chance."
you should have done that.
Not a chance, and shut the door in her face.
Exactly.
It was glorious.
It's so weird when she rolled back down the
I had
driveway,
a
too, after he
justice
said
boner
that.
the entire time. I was thrilled with what Mike did. The way he handled it was you couldn't have written a better story. It was fantastic.
As typically is the case, he likes to come in here and take the shine off the special guest. So let's get back to Team Saul.
Sorry, Sully.
Team Oakland Reindeers.
To answer your question there, I'd like to have a startable player, either a set of hands or a set of feet, a wide receiver or a running back.
I do have your boy, and I believe I offered you to him last week. But no one wants Larry Fitz, the number 5.
I do.
Oh, I think you mistakenly imagined you offered him in a trade and it just never happened.
Larry
go
Fitz
back
for
to, like,
Derek Carr. Is that what the trade that's
Not
on
a
the table?
I'd accept that.
Of
I'd
course,
accept that right
you'd
now.
be stupid not to.
Yeah, all day. Yeah.
So let's
It's
let's
tough.
talk.
You know, he's-
If people have made it this far, they're this deep into it.
We're only an
anyways.
hour in, and you're not loser.
You know, I don't need Jason Witten
Yeah.
anymore.
It is
so-
trade deadline.
Yeah, I don't
Okay,
need
so
him
take a
either.
look.
Fire him off,
I
Jason.
Take a look.
I got Sweet Vern. No, for Derek Carr, it's one of my depth positions.
Yeah, we're looking at the bottom of the bench.
What running backs do you have that you're willing to give up?
Joe Mixon,
Amir
Abdullah,
Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon, Amir Abdullah, Deion
I'll trade you
Lewis.
Joe Mixon for fucking Derek Carr.
See, that's such a terrible trade.
I hate it, but
I know.
But
How
you're
about,
in.
how about
You
Tom
need
Brady?
it.
How about Tom Brady for Joe Mixon and Larry
Oh,
Fitzgerald?
here he goes. Only because I said I wanted Joe Mixon.
Throw Robbie Anderson in there.
That's what I keep trying to get out of him too.
You want
I'd
to do it?
throw Marquise Lee in there.
That's what he keeps sending me too. I offered him Shady McCoy. If he goes after Fitz and whatever the fuck he.
Well, you won't give up
Mixon.
Shady. I've tried for Shady.
I said let's
yeah.
talk.
I offered Marshawn Lynch for trade for the first time in 10 years.
And
How'd that go?
And who
No
said?
one wants
and who
Marshawn
said?
Lynch.
No one wants
I fucking want Marshawn
Hey,
Lynch.
I know
keep
you're
him.
wearing his jersey as we speak.
I got all of them.
All right.
I'll take Adrian Peterson if he still plays.
Luckily,
We're gonna go back. We got.
hold on. Luckily, this team has been referenced enough times on this podcast. So you just offered a trade for Marshawn Lynch. Let me just go to a quick other league, and the PPR league that we just had Ernest featured.
Was he on
from.
waivers?
Guess what I just did?
Dropped him.
Dropped Marshawn Lynch for
No
the
way.
Chargers D.
You're sick.
Am I?
You're sick.
Am I?
Yeah.
Well, the Chargers D got how many points?
18.
And how many is Marshawn Lynch going to get?
I'm saying 9.
Hard 9, exactly.
It's a soft 9, Donovan.
Yeah, it's a soft 9. Oh,
All right, so where we're at? Look, you're looking at the standings.
I'm crawling into the
You're
playoffs.
5-6. You're about to go 6-6.
Things haven't changed.
You're
since
about
last
to
week.
jump the French, which is great, or stay ahead of him, which he needed that win.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not over yet.
It's not
I've
over.
had 2 guys go.
Yeah.
Like, it's not... He could boom 60 points
Of
just
course,
like I did.
you never know, but Team Big Daddy, Team Colt Strong, they're right above you. They're right on that cusp. You could jump one of those guys. You could jump the Bounty Hunters this week.
Yep.
You could be looking at 5th place right now.
It's exciting.
It's exciting. Where you were 2 weeks ago to where you are now is fantastic. That's why we say never give up, never give hope. Try to make some moves. And if you're the 8th seed, you never know, you might win, just like our champion last year.
Yeah, no.
So what's going forward? What do you see? What's the hindsight? You're happy about what you've got right now. Phil, as he's known in our league, Phil Rivers has helped you out a ton.
Big Phil, yeah.
Where do we need some help? If you're going to make an improvement today, where's it going to be?
Right now, the scariest player in my lineup, in my eyes, I picked Cooper Kupp up off waivers, and I threw him right in there. He's probably my weakest link, I'd say.
I was going to say, that's the first time anybody's ever had a sentence. The scariest person in my lineup is, I picked up Cooper Kupp. All right. Well,
yeah.
That's what he's most worried about.
Yeah, it's not something
it's
you're
a
excited
flyer.
for,
It's a flyer. He's a flyer.
He's supposed to be the wide receiver 1 over there right now, so we're hoping that that's actually the case.
Yeah.
He gets the workload that we'd like to see him get. Mm-hmm. Beyond that, yeah. I know you're a guy, you like to play the Thailand rule, you know?
What's the Thailand rule?
Well, you like to see, you like a little show before...
Show me before you blow me.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
So, I negated that rule, and I went right for the blow.
You want to see if she's got a dick or not, Don?
Yeah. Same, but different, you know?
This is really...
For the layman's.
Oh, is that what that means?
Yeah.
Same, but
I've never been, but I know.
Oh.
I've got a shirt. It says it on
So
the
you
front.
went with your wife to Thailand, and all you learned was show me before you blow me?
No, same, but different.
Oh, okay.
And you drink buckets for cheap, and there's angry strippers.
There's mushrooms in those buckets, isn't there?
There's everything. I don't know. No one knows.
Prescott has 4 points.
Yeah, and he's done for the day.
He's going down. Oh, really? They pulled him?
They pull him?
No, this game's over.
Oh.
Oh, shit.
It's 4:30.
That's what happens when you're on your 10th beer at 4:30.
Your kid's here, man.
Sully Andrews in
My
the
really
building.
small associate is just hanging back with my chauffeur.
Tiny. So we're happy about the way this week's going. We're hoping to pull out a big win. Where do you forecast the rest of the season going? Think you can maybe pull an upset in the first round?
Oh, obviously that's what we're hoping for.
Yeah.
You can't forecast this season though. You guys have known. You've been trying to do it the entire league since week 1. You can't predict it. You can't tell me who's going to be in the playoffs. You can't tell me who's out.
Yeah.
There's no standalone. This guy's got so many more wins than anybody's going to take the league by storm.
Absolutely.
No one's ever gone into the playoffs in the first spot and won it, if I'm not mistaken.
I went out first round last year.
So at the end of the day, you guys are the professionals and you can't call it. So leaving it up to me to try and tell you what's about to happen is ridiculous. I just have Phillip Rivers. He's in the middle of scoring 40 points.
He's number 12. He's the number 1 QB right now. He's QB1.
Yeah, there's the Patriots are terrible. Phillip Rivers is killing shit. What do you know about football? It doesn't really matter.
I like it. Final thoughts from Don.
I was just going to ask one more football-related question before I got into some nonsense.
Yeah, let's talk about drugs and shit.
Okay, hold on.
What are you taking for your back these days? I hear Robax Platinum's the way to go.
Robax Plat, the way to fly.
You're selling that now, eh?
Greg Olsen, you got high hopes? You hoping he comes back full strength?
I hope he does what he's expected to do. You know, I don't think he's going to come in there and start scoring 18 points a week on average. I think he's going to come in. I'm fairly confident that his good friend over there at the quarterback position is going to look to get him a touchdown in his first game back, just to kind of set the standard, you know,
Great matchup against
make
the
a
Jets.
point of putting the ball in his hands, just to let him know and the fans know he is back. Mm-hmm. But yeah, beyond that, it's football. The tight end position this year has been
a dumpster.
Yeah, almost
fire.
just get ridable.
Yeah,
you know, like what's the point?
Get ridable is a great.
If you don't have Rob Gronkowski
or Travis Kelce,
or Travis Kelce, you're really just.
Because even Zach
Ertz
was the popular one, and he's gotten 0 points 3 games.
Yeah, and where was he last year?
Yeah,
where did Zach Ertz rank amongst tight ends last year?
He was hot.
Probably like 14th.
Yeah, he was hot for the last 3 games, but that's it. But yeah, I agree. If you don't have those 3 guys, it is tight end is almost like kicker to me. It's just like, I'll just pick up Tyler Kroft and we'll see what happens then.
See a brown man.
The sexiest brown man in the history of brown men.
He does look better than he did last time I saw him.
He always looks good.
Any final thoughts, Saul, on the season? Anything else going on?
There's lots going on, but like I said, you can't predict the future. Even looking at numbers, there's really no way to put together what's about to happen.
Not even Doc Brown could figure out this.
No, yeah. If you had the almanac from the future, things would change. I'm sure. It is what it is. It's football. It's a beautiful thing.
Okay.
Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. Good luck the rest of the game.
Hold on, before you hop in that DeLorean, you're a new father.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what the most surprising thing that you've run into being a new father? Like, what's the one thing that you were like, I did not realize that I would be changing 17 diapers a day, or like something like that? Like, is there anything that sticks out that you're like, I didn't realize that, you had to suck snot out of their nose with a tube?
Yeah, that's the thing. We actually.
What's the most surprising thing? So hit us with it.
Surprising.
Well, you're a young man. You're a new father.
Man, okay. I'm gonna tell the podcast. I'm gonna tell the boys this right now.
Yeah.
Everyone is going to tell you negative things about having a child, and no one is going to tell you the good things. And they're going to tell you it costs this much, and this and that and the third. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's a couple extra dollars. You're buying some diapers. You're buying some baby food. You don't even notice the shit because you're drinking less beer. You're going to the bar less anyways.
Yeah.
It's fucking the same amount of money out. You got the same amount of money coming in. You don't even really notice it. You make the time for the kid. It's easy as pie. There's no difference in my day-to-day, except I just drink less. Some guys think that's a negative. Some guys think that's a positive.
Why'd you look at me while you said that?
Well, I want a shot of Fireball before you kick me off this shitty podcast.
Right. Pour him a shot.
All right, we're gonna end it on a shot.
You know what, Salt? That was really nice.
Yeah, nobody tells you it's gonna be amazing and you're gonna love everything for the most part. They just tell you
you'll never sleep again.
You know how many diapers you gotta buy?
You'll never go out again.
My daughter sleeps until 7:30 in the morning every day.
Just a little half of food.
And then you fucking wake up and you deal with it, Working nights isn't the best, but
sometimes you gotta buy those diapers.
Pays the bills, doesn't it?
There you go, Sayers. You didn't say anything. You're
be the boss. Thanks, so.
Thank you. Cheers to Salt.
Away she goes. Cheers to Oakland Rangers. We hope you make it to the playoffs, buddy. Coming in real hot.
Chalupas.
I'm actually looking pretty good right now.
Oh, he's looking great.
He's looking fantastic.
We've got the man with the plan, the self-assigned co-GM of the Coquitlam Keg League. It's been around forever. He's here. He's back at it. He's making it happen.
Co-commissioner.
The GM of Team Big Daddy himself is in the building. Welcome. As we always do here on the Whiskey Barrel Podcast, we like to start our guests off with a quick shot of Fireball Whiskey. We have a secondary guest in the back who keeps asking for a shot, but he's not getting one because he's not on the main mic.
Even though it's my house
and
my neighbor's fully Fireball.
So, Brad, how you doing, pal?
I'm doing well.
Excellent.
I'd just like to preface by saying the reason I'm the co-commissioner was because Mike had to be shown how to assign points when we set this thing up.
Okay.
So yeah, when I first took over this league, or first started this league, had a couple questions for Brad as to what do you think, and that made him decide that he was the co-commissioner.
Well, you've done a poor job because he still hasn't figured that part out. But we'll cheers to that, and we'll cheers to the inauguration of this league and what it's become now, and the growth and everything that has happened. We have you to thank. We have the commissioner to thank, and a few others in this league.
Hideous.
Welcome to the podcast.
Well, the classic.
Can I just say that this is you guys are all in a while. Did I say this last week?
You're not a guest right now, so we'll get to you next time. We might have time. I'm not sure if we have any time later.
What I was going to say is that the reason Brad's always been the pester Mike about his commissioner duties, and then the second Mike turns around and goes, "Fuck, man, do you want to be No, not a chance. But I want it run like this.
He wants to be called co-commissioner.
Yeah, I want this many teams.
I want these many.
Yeah, exactly.
That's business. That's smart business.
Yeah, when I'm kicking people out left, right, and center.
You don't invest with your own money.
Yeah.
You use somebody else's.
I like it. Now, Brad, we think obviously I believe, maybe the others in the room don't, that you made the trade of the year, dealing Zeke for Mark Ingram, the number one running back.
Yeah.
And Chris Thompson, who was a top 10 until he
that
got
is
hurt.
a great deal.
Unfortunately, as your year has gone, it went sideways. Went sideways with David Johnson early, and Chris Thompson, unfortunately. I think you picked up Odell, so I can't give you credit for having him when he got hurt. But Jameis hasn't paid off for you, so
Jordy Nelson's kind of gone.
And Jordy Nelson has basically been hurt.
Aaron Rodgers.
All you can say is he's basically as bad as a hurt player. So you've battled injuries more than anybody else, but you're still in the fight.
Still in the fight, yes.
So what's the move? What's the game plan? Where are we at?
Well, as you can see by my bench,
yeah.
I've got all these IR players.
You got a lot of letters on your bench, and not good ones, and they're all red.
Letters.
Yeah.
Well, I'm taking a different angle to this philosophy. I believe that IR stands for inevitable return.
I like that.
I'm really hoping for the playoffs to be starting Odell and Chris Thompson and David Johnson, and I can put some of these other schmoes on my back on my bench and see what happens from there. Jameis, though, yeah, he's just a...
you know what? For being such a stud last year, it's really hurt this year. They did just shut down David Johnson for the year, I believe.
Yeah, I think I read that as well.
Yeah, so he'll be... But, I mean, to start next year with David Johnson and Odell Beckham, no one's mad at that whatsoever.
No.
You mean IR doesn't mean inevitable return?
No.
A year from now.
Damn. A year from
I don't
now.
know anything about Odell. I haven't heard any news, any updates. Do you know, Brad? Anything...
I do not.
No.
I do not. He was absolutely a pickup with the thought of potentially keeping for next year.
The interesting one for me that you could think about starting and possibly in your flex spot is Corey Clement.
Well,
he's been stealing touchdowns like crazy lately. He's getting more and more action in that running back field. Yes, they're starting 4 guys in that position, but
it's such a high-octane offense that it doesn't matter. If he's going to get 10 touches and 2 near the goal line, he's been electric. He finds the outside.
So would you rather start Jordy Nelson and Devontae Parker, or Devontae Parker and Corey Clement, or Devontae Parker and Paul Richardson?
Well, I do have till Sunday to decide that.
Sure.
Which I did look at this morning. My Sunday lineup's not absolutely firm right yet.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit curious about him because he seems to be definitely getting some touches, and without a doubt, Parker's been a bit of a bust this year.
Yeah.
He was very much overhyped.
Yeah, way overhyped. As you can see, I don't have a lot of other studs out there, and there's not a lot on the waiver wire.
No, there's not. But
the interesting thing about Clement is he was getting more and more work before the trade deadline. They brought in Ajayi. People thought he would come down a little bit, but he bumped above Smallwood, and it seems like he's still getting the same amount of work. So could be a good stash.
Could be.
And this is 2 weeks in a row that Keenan Allen has really actually had a big week for you. He's coming up to a draft value you got him at. But here's a better question. Like, what does your team look like better? Like, is it Mark Ingram and Isaiah Crowell, or is it Christian McCaffrey and Golden Tate? And instead of Keenan Allen?
Oh. Yeah, I think Keenan Allen's.
Oh, okay.
I think I got to stick with.
Now, what about Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram?
What about now? If we're talking like Larry
Fitz,
Fitz,
trying to set me up for a trade.
What if we're talking about like Larry Fitz and Deion Lewis for Mark Ingram?
What about that?
Fitz and Deion Lewis,
or Larry Fitz and Joe Mixon?
That would be interesting
for Mark Ingram. That's kind of the level that I'm on.
That's certainly by far the most curious one I've heard.
Okay.
That's.
Well, I'll put that on the table right now. Larry Fitz and Joe Mixon for Mark Ingram.
Larry Fitz and Joe Mix.
The number 5 wide receiver, mind you.
Number 5,
and I'll take back whoever you're going to drop, just to not cause the waiver.
I got you. So I'm just curious as to where's Joe Mixon sitting.
He's, 9 points a game, 10 points a game average?
Something like that.
Oh, he's not. Okay, so.
Not a stud, but he gets 20 carries a game.
What's he doing recently, though? Can you pull him up?
Yeah. Oh, right now. Sorry.
Anyway, that's on the board. We don't want too much dead air. We can talk about it a little bit later, but we'll
I will certainly give that some thought.
Yeah, think about that one, but that's kind of where we're at.
So then you have Larry Fitz, Joe Mixon, Christian McCaffrey, instead of Keenan Allen and Mark Ingram.
What?
It's a 3-man move.
I think I've had too many beers for that.
Here you go, pal. So he didn't have a great week last week, but he's against Denver. But other than that, exactly what he said. 7, 10, 10, 9, 4. But that's Denver. But he's got Cleveland coming up, Pittsburgh.
Chicago. I look at Chicago. I look at Dallas. I look at the easier running games. I don't want to get rid of him. He's my starter.
I don't know why you don't want to get rid of him.
I know
he wants to get rid of him because he wants Mark Ingram.
Yeah,
that's pretty selfish.
Well, I'm trying to give. I got to give away a top 5 wide receiver if I'm going to get him, right?
Right. All right. Well, I'm just saying.
And you got to give away Larry, who's...
That's what I'm saying. Larry's the top number 5 wide receiver.
Larry's that hot, eh? Wow.
Yeah,
good for Larry.
Yeah, he's
That
actually...
guy's a class act.
Anyway, Brad, thoughts on the league? What do you think? Where are we headed? Where are we going? It's...
So, we started this... Brad, I've got a little bit of a thorn in my craw, as it were. Because Corey's got this stat sheet. He's been ripping me about trades. It's just a bunch of numbers on a piece of paper.
Brad and I spoke briefly about Christian McCaffrey versus Kareem Hunt.
Okay.
I broke down the last 7 weeks.
Either way.
McCaffrey's number 12, Hunt is number 16.
Brad, you're a big proponent of not trading with me at all. You see trade offers come through with me, you decline before you actually read them.
Well, that might be a slight exaggeration. Having said that,
yes,
I suspect it is detrimental to most other teams to trade with you. I've watched you bob and weave your way, get these other little guys in line behind you, all supporting the Donna wagon, and I've seen you. And, hey, you're the winningest coach in the league, right?
I feel like they're all taking a cut. They must be on the up and up.
It's not that big a pot though.
I can't.
There's too many egos in this league.
There's a lot of guys that gotta
be
pay
willing
for.
to take that.
There's a lot of guys that gotta pay for
I
diapers.
agree.
There's a lot of guys that gotta pay for diapers, and a $50 here or there means a lot to people.
Well, this is true. And I mean, he'd give it all away just for bragging rights.
100%.
He doesn't care about the money.
No, I don't give a shit.
And I will respect Don in that he would rather have the Patriots win the Super Bowl than him win it.
That's true. And I'd rather the belt and the trophy than the cash at the end. It's really...
Of course you would.
Yeah.
One picture, and I can bring it everywhere.
Yeah.
It's you just walk a little bit taller.
Yeah.
Just a little bit taller.
Yeah, exactly.
Feet don't quite touch the ground anymore.
Wendy's a little nicer.
I'm sure Wendy really appreciates it. I'm sure that means a lot to her.
She gets a nice dinner out of it.
True enough.
And then I stopped talking about fantasy football for 5 months.
That she probably appreciates.
Yeah, she really appreciates that.
She's going to be very upset when the podcast keeps going on every week.
Oh, my goodness. Even through the offseason.
So where do we stand, Brad? What do you think the pulse of the league? We feel that the league has gotten a lot better. Obviously, no one's out of the playoffs. No one's guaranteed in the playoffs. So competitively, it's a more competitive league this year. What do you think? Where are we headed? What's going on? Where can we improve? Thoughts on the season?
Well, I think it would be vastly improved if we got rid of all the really good guys except for me and replaced them with some scrubs. So that would trade anything.
Right.
We need Sully times 10.
But Sully's been good this year.
No, I know he is. Everybody's gotten a lot better at it, so it's a lot harder. It's a lot tougher league to be in.
It's much tougher to be in, and it's great.
It's somebody was saying earlier today that you listen to some of these other podcasts and you listen to some of the TV shows about go pick up this guy on waiver wires or do this or that, and in the end, we go and do it, but they're already gone.
Yeah.
Because somebody thought about that last week because of guys coming
absolutely.
up.
You're right.
That's very difficult. Trades are a little bit more difficult. You can't quite bamboozle. Can't get Sully to trade the farm for Larry Fitzgerald, even though Larry just keeps on winning. It's. I think it's fun. I think Mikey's idea of going to Vegas for year 10 is a great idea.
Is that next year? No, it's not.
No,
year
not
9 next year.
This is our 8th.
Give everybody a year notice.
A year's notice.
And then year 10, the 10-year anniversary, we go to Vegas. And then I think we just make it annual.
What? Go to Vegas every year?
Every
after
year.
that?
After that.
Well, that's.
I think this league. I don't want to keep going on about it, but I think this league is worth it, man. This league is
change the entrance fee to $1 for the league, and then spend the rest of your money on going to Vegas for the draft.
That's not terrible either.
Well, it saves everybody because we're talking about bumping it up to $200
really care
anywhere.
about the money in this league?
I
don't.
No,
Everyone
cares about the belt.
I really don't. It's just a fun league.
But those would be the greatest $7 you ever
have
heard. The greatest $7 ever.
And
you parlay that on AFC NFC Championship game in some sort of.
I don't think it would lose any competitiveness.
No,
I'd still want to beat all you fuckers. I don't want to.
At the end of the day, it's $100 for 16 weeks of entertainment. It's not a huge drop in the bucket for anybody, but
who we kidding? We're never going to stop.
Of course not.
Well, that's fine too.
Yeah.
As I recall, though,
and as somebody who's taken a lot out of the bank that is this podcast league,
yeah,
and it's $100. Whatever.
Don, final thoughts.
I don't have a final thought.
Can I add one thing?
No.
Please.
Okay, add one thing.
So just on what we're talking about, and forgive me if this is the same point you were making, but it's nice to know that if someone's coming off an injury or something, that you have to be way ahead of the game right now because our league has gotten that competitive.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And so a guy like Greg Olson, you can't wait till he's back. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's an extreme situation. But there's other.
I picked up
situations
D.D. Westbrook 4 weeks before he came off IR.
Sure, I picked up Danny Woodhead 2 weeks before he was. You know what I mean? Like guys, like you have to be ahead of the game on those things right now.
That's very often. Then I go, oh, that guy.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Then I go, damn it.
And
it's like 30 minutes before.
I wish that ESPN had a list of just IR players, and you could just, you know what I mean? Like you could just put up that stat. Anyway, my point is that our league has gotten so much better that you have to look out for those things.
The thing is that Donald picks those guys up like 4 weeks ahead and then trades them for like number one.
I know.
Yes.
So it's fine.
Which is why he keeps winning.
Last thoughts, Don.
Brad, just to shuffle sideways here, you're probably one of the we're all kind of restaurant guys. We work in restaurants. We enjoy restaurants. We enjoy hospitality and dining out and things like that. If you could kind of reflect on, as a veteran of this game, one of the biggest changes from when you first started in the restaurant industry to what it is now. Like, what's your average night look? When did you get started working in a restaurant? What year?
1987.
So 1987. So what would be your average night? What would be something that would stand out from anybody who worked a night in 1987 behind the bar versus a guy who walks in 2017, works behind the bar?
They were drunk.
Okay, well,
they're not getting as drunk as they used to. A, complexity of cocktails.
Sure. Yeah, that's a great point.
That is a great point.
Much more complex. Having said that, you only got to make one for every 4 you used to have to make.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
Obviously priced, but that's a relative thing.
Yeah.
And
complexity of cocktails. So does that mean you're just pouring basically rum and cokes in '87?
Highballs, beers, the odd screwdriver or Caesars, but that was really it.
Yeah.
You weren't doing. You certainly didn't have muddlers.
Yeah.
You might have had a blender you had to pull out, dust off, and crank open a can of frozen strawberries for strawberry margarita once every month.
Yeah.
But aside from that, because I started as a bartender, so that's sort of probably the first thing I reflect to.
Yeah.
I mean, industry-wise, that certainly is the thing, and probably also just guests' needs.
Sure.
Their expectations are so much higher now than they were then. That's a reflection of a lot of things, be it internet, social media, people tweeting their food.
Everything. It's nonstop.
People maybe getting, my food's cold. Well, it probably wouldn't have been if you hadn't spent 8 minutes taking a picture of it and taking selfies with your steak beside you. But that's kind of across the industry.
It's funny because we just came from London, where you go up to the bar, you order your drink, and then you go sit at a table. You bring your drink with you. To where we sit at a bar here, you sit down at a table, the server comes, grabs you, go get a drink, and then you go, why does my drink take 10 minutes? Well, you could go to London, sit in a line for 10 minutes, get your beer, and have no complaints. So maybe that's the move, right? Like, is there a pub in Vancouver that needs to go to that mentality where there's no service, you literally go up to the bartender, get your pint, go sit down.
You'd have to be used to that, A, and B, you'd have to expect it going in if you're going to do that.
Expectation.
Like
you said, expect.
Yeah, expectation.
Yeah, because when you walk in and you sit at a table, it would take us 20 minutes to realize that there was no server.
Right.
Right? And by the time we got to there, we'd be pissed off. It's one thing to have a server come by and say, hey, Bubba, can I get you something to drink? Oh, yeah, the bar's running a little long, but I'll be as fast as I can.
You could have a little thing on the table saying, please order your drinks at the bar.
Yep. Yeah, you definitely could. And if somebody noticed that immediately, like, you'd still run into that issue where people are like, what? There's no servers here? Like, I don't want to go there. I don't want to serve myself, whatever. It personally doesn't bother me. I prefer to sit at a bar anyways. I don't really even like tables, but...
Where we're going is robot servers.
Of course.
That's a move.
I went to Spring, which is a little sushi concept that's growing out of Ontario. And the server brings you drinks, takes a drink order, brings you drinks. You order your food from the iPad.
Okay.
And you hit...
Can you modify?
I didn't try to modify.
How much are you going to modify a sushi roll?
We were ordering a bunch of stuff, and all the food was being brought out by runners and stuff. Which we didn't find out to the end, though, is if you order more than you eat, they charge you.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a flat rate for everybody. But you got to be careful you don't order too much.
Right.
And unfortunately, my finger got stuck, and I think I just went... The next thing you know, 11 orders of teriyaki steak show up, which is like jerky in a sushi place. It wasn't particularly good. Yeah. And, of course, we didn't eat it all. But, no, they didn't charge us. They just warned us that they would next time.
For future kind of thing.
Nice.
Anyways.
Interesting. That's an interesting take on what's changed. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for coming on the podcast. We're
Go podcast.
Go podcast.
Yeah, go Eagles.
Go podcast. Podcast, go Eagles.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay. All right, well, thanks for the code commish to come in. He really sets the standard of the league, which is great, and he brought up some good points.
He's not the co-commish. Can we just set that straight?
He's self-appointed. We do have a message into the Ashley Sayers inbox.
So
someone who's very fond of the Ashley Sayers inbox, by the way.
Yeah, a little too formal.
Long time submitter.
Okay.
I will say.
So as a quick side note here, before last week's episode completely got off the rails, I did open Ashley Sayers' inbox, as I tend to do.
Wide open.
And once it's wide open, there's the King and his men just flood inside of it.
Once she's open.
Once she's open, they're the first one in. The first one in,
last
the fastest
one
in, last one to leave.
And his men.
Yeah, and his men, and they fill it. They fill it to the top.
Not only the king.
So in a haze last week, I missed this message, so I'm going to read it off the hop. And as I always say, Per, I don't read them beforehand, so I don't know. So I hope it's a PG enough. And here we go. So this is what we missed at 10:40 p.m. last week. For any of you who listened last week. Wow, phones are open. First things first, is Little Hands our commissioner there? If so, please ask him why such a brown-nosed bitch the first time on your podcast.
That was he prefaced it before he even knew.
I wish I would have read this.
Why did you want to be so
Mike, I'll
angry?
give you $20 to
roast me.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Secondly, why does Sayers continue to say that I am the villain when ultimately he is the most hated in this and any other league he is a part of? And finally, I can't wait for the USA Thanksgiving tradition over at a Canadian beauty, Mr. Fanif's house, where we all get together, call bullshit trade offers, and really bond as the #1 true fantasy culture.
Now, instead of answering that, let's bring him in himself.
Yeah, let's
he's
bring
here.
the man
He's in the building.
himself.
We'll bring him in to answer
Let's
the
get
hard
him out of Ashley's box and let's get him on the cast.
Inbox. Can you just say inbox?
Sorry, inbox.
Not box, it's inbox.
Welcome,
Inbox,
everybody. The king and his man, Perry Tascona.
Well, good evening, gentlemen.
As we always do, we do a little shot to welcome you to the podcast.
Is the brown-nosing commish having one?
Sit here and watch you guys do your shot.
No, he's been overserved by himself.
Overserved again?
Yeah, classic.
All right.
The one thing is that we keep doing these shots, and these guys are doing one.
I know. We're down to 60.
I know, and the guy that owns the Fireball.
If you mean owns, he said, hey, should I bring anything?
Hey,
he said Fireball.
He also voted with the cannonball that was rolling around the street, so we don't care for that guy.
That's true.
Okay, anyway, so Paris, so what we've been doing today, because everybody else is watching football, we're just talking it, is we've been looking at people's teams. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? How are you feeling about the league so far? So let's run Perry's team down. We got Drew Brees. We got Drew Brees, Latavius Murray, DeMarco Murray, Juju Smith-Schuster, Stephon Diggs, Jimmy Graham, Derrick Henry, the Jags DST, the powerful Jags DST. Notable on the bench, you got Devontae Adams, Vikings D, Adrian Peterson, Rashard Matthews, Gillisley and Keenum. Gillisley's the only real suspect there.
He's been a healthy scratch the last 2.
But other than that, that's a good bench too.
Gillisley, though, this is the problem: is he plays for New England.
Yeah.
And it's only a matter of time by week probably 14 or 15 he's going to be activated again and get his 2 touchdowns a game. So that's why he's on the bench. Plus, that was the secondary part of the trade that I got Stephon Diggs for Doug Martin.
Yeah, but
that he threw me that, right?
Yeah, but
So think about that, Corey.
I'd trade Gillisley for Doug Martin straight up anyway, so it doesn't matter.
And we're also talking about your 5th running back here. So
he's also right about Gillisley, though. Gillisley at any moment could start stealing touchdowns.
There comes a point where 2 hosts turn into 3, and I don't think we've ever done that on this podcast. So
and there's no appointed 3rd host.
There should be some sort of wall between.
We should have Angela here. The problem is that we're in a foreigners.
Well, just start calling me Angela.
Can you record
We do that anyways.
Yeah. So, Per, I'm assuming Devontae Adams is sitting this week because Pittsburgh.
Well, the crappy thing is Devontae Adams continues to get points, but I just can't trust Green Bay. I don't think he would.
Is it not ridiculous that he's the number 1 wide receiver on Green Bay and not Jordy?
14.
So he's going to be stuck with their number 1 corner, and he's going to be hooped.
Yeah.
Is there a strategy to starting DeMarco and Derrick Henry, or is that what you're stuck with?
It's more that I'm just stuck with. I'm thinking of Peterson, but if you play one, you got to play both because they split. And it's a good matchup for them.
Great matchup against Indy.
This weekend against Indy that they'll probably both get 15 touches, both get about 80 yards, and one of them is going to get a touchdown or 2.
So how do you not start Rashard Matthews then?
Then there's so many Tennessee people on the bench, and then it's 100%.
But I'm saying instead of starting 2 running backs from the same team, why not start the number 1 and the number 1 wide receiver?
Yes.
Or take a risk, right? DeMarco is obviously the guy who gets the most touches. We know that. Derrick Henry seems to bust the plays when he needs to.
Pull up Rashard.
Yeah, sure.
That's the only change I'd make to you this week.
So the only thing is the inconsistency with him, right? He goes 7, 4.8, 14, 6.3, and then he goes off on my most hated nights. I'm sorry, that wasn't a Thursday. It was the Thursday. Yeah, no, it was the Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday nights. And I do everything wrong on Thursdays.
Right, yeah.
I've already said that perfectly clear.
Not just fantasy football-wise either.
Yeah, because I'm here at FNUF. So, so everything goes wrong on Thursdays for me. And I've always done bad matchups and all that. I overthink Thursdays. It's can't wait till Thursdays are over.
You wish you didn't have anybody playing on Thursdays.
I get rid of them as best as I can. I still had to play a couple
Everyone's going to have somebody. My suggestion is Rashard Matthews coming back. Now Mariota's healthy again.
And he's happy with them.
And the last 3 weeks it seems to be becoming a bit of a trend. I think you go Matthews over Henry. That's kind of my only thing.
Well,
Can Juju keep going?
Well, I'm keeping him right there, but you might see Matthews in there depending on Juju because he's got the question mark. And
I go Matthews over Derrick Henry.
I don't know. It's a hard one.
I'll put it on.
I've been burned on it already.
I will put a drink at AFC NFC Championship on this week. Rashard Matthews, Derrick Henry points.
From this point forward?
This week.
No,
this week.
Oh,
just this one week. I will say Rashard Matthews gets more points than Derrick Henry. And that's one drink on AFC NFC Championship.
Oh, yeah, you were done on that. Done. That's 100%.
Okay. I'm taking Rashard Matthews. You're taking Derrick Henry.
Put it on the board.
Put it on the board.
I like that. All right.
It's good. That's what we're about. Yeah.
It's fine looking at my team. I wouldn't mind looking at Sarah's team.
All right.
And talking a little bit of crap about that.
Okay. Talk some shit because I've tried to make moves. Everybody that sat on the cast.
You have never sent me a move, but nor have I ever sent you a move because I know you would refuse no matter what I sent you.
No, that's not the case. I don't think we can help each other.
No, I know.
Because I need wide receiver help and you need wide receiver help. Okay. Same with Paul Alon. I've never sent Paul Alon.
I don't think that we were talking shit about your team. I just think we were just looking at it.
It's average.
I think Latavius Murray
it's
your best.
It's picking up
is
speed
your best
now.
Move. You believed in that 4 weeks ago. You're like, he's just going to continue to get work. Those guys are both going to keep running the ball. And Murray's just been getting the touchdowns.
And the big one is picking up the Jags.
Yeah.
I think it was week 5 or week 4 after their bye. I picked them up.
Yeah.
I didn't believe in them at the beginning, but it's crazy. Once you have a good defense that's splitting up 19 points a week, it's like, this is stupid.
While we do have you here and what our fans want to know, and the question that I get asked all the time is, Perry, have you traded Drew Brees yet?
No.
No? Okay. Well,
that's been this week, and has Perry traded Drew Brees? That segment is never going to die.
No, it's not.
Because we're 12 weeks in. And
I'm going to protect him for next year. Just to keep the segment alive.
Let's keep it alive.
Perry has never gotten more excited than texting me, "You can keep your segment," after he traded Aaron Rodgers
and he broke his knee. That like true. 5 minutes after you traded him.
That's what Perry does. Amazing. He makes trades and the guys die.
Yeah, a bit of a reaper that way.
Like he's like, "Oh, Fournette, he's on his bye. Don't worry, he won't play for 2 weeks after that either." Here's Sarah's.
Sorry, I'll look at mine because that's the one thing. There's been so many moves, which has been great. Lots of trades in that. But when we look back, for what I got for Leonard Fournette, with what I looked that I actually got for him, I got DeMarco Murray, Juju, Stephon Diggs, Derrick Henry, and Mike Gillislee, which is whatever. But I got him for that, which in ultimate truth, it was basically for Aaron Rodgers. So I had the two quarterbacks that you never thought would pay dividends, but Aaron Rodgers got me Fournette. That got me this.
Right.
So for Aaron Rodgers, I'll go back now. For Aaron Rodgers, I got DeMarco Murray, Juju, Stephon Diggs. Do I need to go on? So not anybody. Did you? You didn't.
This is comeuppance.
My only thing I go back to is you drafted Drew Brees in the 4th round and immediately proclaimed, "I have trade bait. I can trade Drew Brees," and you held him for 5 weeks.
That's right.
Luckily, if you traded Drew Brees for Leonard Fournette, you would have been fucked.
No, but that wasn't the plan, and Dono can attest to this because I told him this. I said that my whole plan all along was to get rid of Aaron Rodgers because I hate Green Bay. I'm a Minnesota fan, and I used that as a pawn and waited for Drew Brees to get his bye week. As soon as he came back from his bye week, I traded Aaron Rodgers. Why? Because the Vikings were playing Green Bay that weekend where Anthony Barr put Aaron Rodgers out for the rest of the year.
True story.
And
true story.
And the passion behind
we were in the Vancouver airport and we watched Aaron Rodgers go down on the first play of the game, second play of the game.
It was awesome.
Had that been Drew Brees in week 3, you would have been upset.
May I ask just really quick, because this has been a recurring theme during our podcast today. Most of the players that you just named in those trades, did you get them from me?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Except for one.
I know, but
I got two.
But I just want to say that Sayers has been shitting on my trades and how I always rob people. So what I'm saying is as somebody who's been a beneficiary of trading with me, has it always been bad? You're happier with your team now, no?
Of course I am.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. I had created more depth because I lost my first 2 picks.
Thank you.
Both were gone for the season, OBJ and Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
And I needed to do something.
Yeah, I hear you.
Corey, you're looking like you have something to say.
No, I'll just send Perry with some homework.
No, it's just...
I'm not taking any homework, but go ahead, spill it
It's the trade rate. Well, listen back to the first 10 minutes of the podcast during our section of trade stealing with Don.
With Don, he does steal due to the fact he offers so much for so little at times.
Yes!
Right?
That's what I do!
That's the problem with people. Now, with us, he offered me for Fournette 4 players.
Yeah.
And one wasn't Juju. Right? Yeah. And I got Juju into that trade because I thought there's upside with him.
Yeah, that's right.
I think your receiver you sent me was some guy that you probably dropped already.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
It was
Aguilar.
Didn't have any.
Fournette for who?
It was Fournette for Derrick Henry, DeMarco Murray, Juju Smith-Schuster,
and Doug Martin.
And who else with Fournette, though? Who are the other 3?
That's it.
Fournette. No, who are the guys you dropped?
Oh.
Those are players. You can't just trade
4
for 1.
Who I dropped?
Yeah.
I sent you some boneheads you just dropped.
Yeah,
like bench players. I forget. Pull it up if you can find it.
I will pull it up because it's a common theme on our show today.
Let's pull it up.
Yeah, please. Please do.
But see, I'm just happy that we have a satisfied GM here that is like, I have no problem.
I'm having trouble finding the site. It's that River Springs Wi-Fi.
Oh, yeah, it's shit. Yeah, it's just...
Some people that live in River Springs turned down a good cell tower.
Well, there was a Strata person here earlier that wanted to talk all about it.
I guess I could make my voice heard if I really wanted.
Yeah, you have a direct connection.
Anyway, we spoke about how Donovan traded Kareem Hunt for McCaffrey and Julio. And usually when you do a 2-for-1, the 1 is the best player in the trade.
Agreed.
And so in this trade, the 1 was the worst player in the trade. Well, when you pull up the RB rankings, Kareem Hunt is number 16, in with the Carlos Hydes, the Dion Lewises, the Amir Abdullahs, the Joe Mixons, the Isaiah Crowells, and McCaffrey's a RB1. So that's kind of where we find
Where did you, Kareem Hunt, where did you pull this one from, number 16?
Sorry. Okay, so I have a question for you, Perry.
Because if you're not in a lot of sites.
There's two events that are going to happen in the world, okay? One event is going to happen 3 times out of 10. And one event is going to happen 7 times out of 10.
Here we go.
Okay?
Yeah.
One event is going to happen
stats.
7 out of 10, one's going to happen 3 out of 10.
I get it. 70 and 30.
They're completely opposite from each other. There's no correlation between what happens on each one. What would you more likely to put your money behind? The event that happens 7 times out of 10 or 3 times out of 10? They both pay the same.
Well, you know, at the same facet, 100% you would go on the higher percentage. But there's always the 5% rule that you got to roll the dice at a certain point based on what's happening now. Not what has been.
Perfect.
What's
happening now? That makes my point even more. So in the first 3 weeks, Kareem Hunt put up 80 points. In the next 7 weeks, he put up 67. In 7 weeks, he put up 67. In 3, he put up 80. So what's more likely? The 7 weeks where he only put up 67 points, less than 10 per game, or the first 3 where he put up 80.
He showed huge
An unknown who's shown 3 weeks of good play where as soon as teams learn about him, they shut him down.
He's shown history of...
Well, it's the same, you know, to your point, I agree with you to a degree, and it's very difficult for me to agree with you.
Being the villain that you are and the hero that I am.
Very difficult for you to agree with me.
This is the villain and the hero.
It's similar to what I said about what happened today with the Dallas Cowboys game, right? It's Dak Prescott. And Prescott, to me, is very similar, and I've called this out before, is like Kaepernick. Kaepernick came in for Alex Smith when he got hurt and looked great, got to the Super Bowl, because no one knew how to play him. But he put up incredible stats. And now it's happening to Dax. He puts up incredible stats last year, Rookie of the Year, looking great, still a 5th-round draft pick, and ends up now looking like crap.
A little bit different
because teams are knowing how to do it.
No, because Zeke is out of the lineup. So teams stack the box for Zeke, so there's more throwing lanes.
So how good is he? Because he had Zeke.
If Zeke is in, how good is any team without their best player?
Yes, but they have the offensive line.
Tom Brady's fantastic.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who he plays against. Drew Brees has never had a Hall of Fame wide receiver.
No. And how good has he been this year? Not as
good.
As could be.
Managing the game.
The ball.
And last week when they needed to get the points, they got the points.
Okay, who do you keep next year? Do you keep Duke Johnson?
No.
Do you keep Tevin Coleman?
No.
Do you keep Carlos Hyde? Do you keep Christian McCaffrey?
No.
Do you keep Jerick McKinnon?
No.
Do you keep Jordan Howard?
No.
Do you keep Kareem Hunt?
No.
Perfect. That's all I need to say.
No, but carry on with the rest.
All those guys I just told you are ahead of Kareem Hunt.
I know, but carry on with the rest that you're talking about, because I wouldn't probably keep half that list anyways, all the way to the top.
Le'Veon Bell.
Yes, I would. That would be one.
Zeke.
Absolutely not.
Ingram or Kamara.
Why wouldn't you keep Zeke?
No. No way, man.
I wouldn't keep Zeke either.
Why?
Overrated. Yeah. Overrated.
If you're number 11 on the draft list, you don't keep Zeke?
I don't keep Zeke.
Okay.
Nope.
Ingram?
Ingram, I don't keep.
If you're number 11 or 12?
I don't keep
him.
Todd
He's
Gurley.
a hurt bag.
Todd Gurley, I would consider late round, yes, if I was late in the draft.
Melvin Gordon?
Yes, I would.
Shady?
No.
Fournette?
No.
Lamar Miller?
No.
Julio Jones?
No.
Antonio Brown?
Yes.
DeAndre Hopkins?
No.
So there's 3
Where
players.
else
So I got about 3.
So you only have one wide receiver that you're going to keep?
Yeah, I don't, you know, we're trying to look at keepers anyways. It's a hot commodity. I guess maybe I'm a little sour because I got burned on my keeper, OBJ.
Sure.
You know, I got burned. I would rather not have it.
But you can get burned on your first round draft pick.
You can, which I did in a sense. Delvin Cook, my second round, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
That's my point. Why wouldn't you keep a guy like?
At the end of the day, all we agree
I'd
is
rather
that
have a choice.
all that we agree is Kareem Hunt's not a keeper, and Hinton traded for a keeper and didn't get one.
He didn't.
Donovan, final thoughts.
That was the hero versus the villain. Who's who? I'll let you decide.
That's it?
No, let's pause real quick. Okay.
All right, we're back at it. We're gonna finish off.
Perry's requested another shot because.
Well, I want the final question before the shot, and that's how I'd like to leave, is having my last shot and getting the fuck out of here.
Okay, so you're going to drop the mic, as it were.
Kind of thing, yeah.
Okay, so, well, you're putting me on the spot.
I'll ask him.
Oh,
if
God,
you're not
here
going
we
to.
go, here we go.
As the villain of the league, who's your favorite superhero villain and why?
Superhero villain.
DC Universe, Marvel Universe.
I know, that's...
Being a villain.
Can we get back to Theo Riddick and how many yards he's going to get this week?
That's difficult because I've never liked a villain.
I guess you don't like your own kind. I've been there too.
Always,
I don't like men. I'm
more of
a woman person.
I have another question.
Yeah,
after.
That's fine. No, I need to hear it.
I don't have one. I don't have a villain that I love. I don't.
You ever seen Batman Dark Knight Bane? He's pretty dope.
Well, no, I hate Batman. How's that? That's a villain.
Yeah, you hate the good people. I know.
No, Batman
as a person of good versus evil, I understand
Batman
that you
is
hate
the weakest superhero there is, man. He has nothing. He has no powers.
His bank account's
He's
not
got
weak.
like ninja stars and things to take things up. That's a movie in real life if that ever happens.
Sorry. If Batman comes across Superman in real life, we're gonna have
Superman would kill him.
I couldn't.
Batman has nothing.
Decide on that. The winner will be decided when that actually happens.
Exactly.
I couldn't agree
So the whole
more.
thing, Batman's nothing. Come on, he's overrated.
Superman.
He doesn't have nothing.
Superman could fly up to Batman, remove his head from his body, and just fly away.
He could stand. He could be on the moon, and his laser eyes would just deteriorate Batman to nothing.
Yeah.
What could Batman do? Get a little cable and lift him up for 2 seconds? Give me a break.
So Lex Luthor is then your favorite villain.
Yeah, obviously, because he's the only one that beats the ultimate.
As a man amongst villains, I assume you talk to these people. Like you guys have your own club.
I'm just saying the weakest superhero is Batman by far.
No,
he's
Aquaman
way
is the
overrated.
Superhero.
I think Aquaman could take him because you could just put him in water and drown him. So I don't know, right?
Yeah, if Batman doesn't have time
Can Batman even swim?
If Batman, okay, he's in weighted leather. There's no way Batman can swim.
Down.
He has some massive propellers and shit. He's got stuff.
But if Batman doesn't have time to plan, it's over.
He doesn't have to plan. He's got everything for everything.
He just pays someone to do it for him.
No, but I'm just saying that's
final question. Let me have the shot.
Since you dodged my question because you don't like the hard hitting ones.
Okay.
I'll let Don throw you a softball.
Okay, in the 8 years that I've known you, Mike, and Brad, okay, because that's how long it's been.
Yes.
There's nobody I've met that likes to give Mike shit more than you. Me and Sayers tried. We started a podcast around more than fucking half of it.
Yes.
And we still.
This is true.
And we still can't succeed.
No.
But the reality of the situation is that there's still been a transgression this year. And we thought we were going to put an end to that today. So there was a vote. We put a poll up. Should FNUF be punished for his transgressions?
Oh, I don't hate the way this is going.
And should he be put to task over the fact that there might be somebody out of the playoffs because Mike didn't do his job properly? All jokes aside, that's the reality of the situation.
But if I'm 1 or 2 in the league,
that doesn't matter. The fact is that we, as a democracy, voted, and it was a landslide, 7-2. The majority says that Mike should be punished. Perry Tascona, what should be that punishment?
Well, everyone makes mistakes, and that was a serious mistake if someone doesn't make the playoffs. I would say the punishment should only be if that created someone not making the playoffs.
Now,
if not, you check it off as it's a mistake. But you put a mark by his name. If he's to do it again, it's an automatic punishment going forward. Everyone gets one freebie, but if it costs someone that spot in the playoffs, you should get punished and punished back.
What's the punishment?
Now, that being said, I am currently 6-5. I'm currently 6-5.
Let's talk about what the punishment is.
I'm currently
Russell might get hot. Let's talk about the punishment.
I'm currently 6-5
Go ahead.
because of that win. Had he played a full lineup, I would have lost. I would have been 5-6.
And who knows?
And I'd be
So
7-4.
now, it doesn't matter about you. It matters about me.
Yeah.
Because I won.
The transcending domino effect that someone else could be affected by.
Someone could miss out because I won that game.
That's right.
If I lost, I'd have a losing record. Now, if I make the playoffs and someone misses it by a tiebreaker or by a game,
by the tie.
By the ties. Whiskey Barrel podcast if someone didn't smash it.
Why do you have your glass up to my throat, Mike? You didn't have to smash it.
FNUF is getting hot. We might need to call 911 or the cops pretty soon. Mike is really getting hard.
Jesus.
But we're going to settle this. It's all good. We'll get it through. Okay. But yes, carry on. It was...
That's what I'm saying. It's not... Okay, stop breaking stuff in
He's going to end up stepping on it.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the best part. That might be his punishment.
With his little
He's got to go
Frodo
to the he's got to go to the hospital on American Thanksgiving because he stepped on his own glass.
Hey, good night, everyone.
Yeah. At least it wasn't me this week.
So that bottom line, that's where I would punish him is if it actually affects it. If it doesn't, but he needs to have a mark. Anyone who doesn't set the lineup, that's crap. There's no excuses. You have all week. Like you had a little timer. It's all good.
So to summarize, your final two questions, you floated by them, you skipped through, and you didn't answer any of them. So thanks for coming on. We appreciate that. Cheers to a little whiskey, and we wish you the best of luck in the fantasy playoffs. All right, we're back because we've come to an agreement.
We've come to an agreement.
Good versus evil. The three of you have come to an agreement.
Good versus evil
has actually got together and created something that's kind of special.
And I like it.
And what we're saying is that if someone, not just you, anyone in our league does not set a lineup that creates someone to miss the playoffs, they swap spots regardless.
They
swap spots.
Nope.
Why?
I think it's only
they would have been in if that person didn't screw it up. Whether it's you or whether it's me, it'll never be me. It'll never be anyone sitting here.
If I'm first place,
I don't care.
And someone just misses the playoffs because of this, I have to swap places.
Yeah,
Hit
because
the bricks.
And I missed the
screwed it up.
Hit the bricks.
What did I say? No.
Hit the bricks.
That's where it flops because you screwed that person over.
Play for next year if you guys want, but I'm not doing.
No, that's the punishment for this year, not next year.
This year. We've already voted on it, and on the poll, it's 9-1.
Yeah,
sorry,
70%.
There's no fucking way. You guys honestly think I'm gonna let you take me out of the fucking playoffs?
It might happen.
If it happens,
no,
it happens.
It's not gonna happen.
If it happens,
not gonna happen.
We're not sure.
I'm telling you, I will demolish this league before I let.
Oh, we'll start a new league.
You're gonna demolish this league, or you take your punishment like a man because you fucked around.
No, I will not.
Well, you did though. You fucked around, right?
I didn't fuck around.
Admittedly,
fuck off, you guys are being ridiculous right now. You're trying to make me the villain.
We all know Perry's the villain.
Perry is the villain, but you guys are being ridiculous. You don't honestly think that I'm going to sit here and just let you take me out of the playoffs.
Okay, so roles reverse. Roles reverse. If that happened to you, you're in 9th spot.
I would not. You honestly think that I would be like, no, you should be out of the playoffs and I should be in?
Yes, you would.
No, I fucking
100% you would.
If you were punished by the league and the league deemed that was the punishment, you'd gladly go, yep, we're switching.
I'm getting in the playoffs.
You'd 100%.
No, I would not.
Yes,
I would not take someone out of the playoffs because they put all that work and they just made a mistake and didn't settle.
And cost you from not getting in the playoffs? That was the reason why you're not 8th seed? You ended up being 9th seed because of that?
Playoffs. No, I wouldn't.
You would just take it.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Wow.
There's our commish.
There's our commish. That's more of the same, eh?
Yeah, brown nose and no balls.
Okay. So, I guess you can wear like a dress or something to the Super Bowl.
Okay, so you guys are actually suggesting
that somebody might miss the playoffs because you fucked up. Yes. And that person got screwed just as badly as we're suggesting you get screwed because you're the one who screwed them. Yes.
There it is.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
That's
fine. Yeah. If someone misses the playoffs, they can have my spot in the playoffs.
I almost want to miss the playoffs because that's what.
And that was this week.
Hey, I'm out.
So our commissioner is hot. Don, I don't know if you know or not, but he's hot.
He was
but
hot.
That's, the people have spoken, and that's the punishment, and that's where we go.
And he accepted it. That's as good as in writing if he's going to do it on the podcast.
It was a verbal binding contract.
And he let the listeners know. It's not just us. It's the listeners are aware, we're aware, the rest of the league's aware, and that is what it is.
We're going to move on, though, and we're going to welcome the GM of Team the Bounty Hunters. We're glad to have him. He's a long-time listener, long-time caller, first-time visitor.
Yeah, and
the
it's great
GM
to have
of the
him.
Bounty Hunters is here on the casting couch.
Yeah.
Welcome him.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Well, let's just make this official, and we'll sign me in.
There we go. So, Mr. Nightingale, this is kind of the format we've been working with at this point. We've been running down people's leagues. We want to know what you like. Teams rather. What you like, what you don't like about your team. So you got Alex Smith, Le'Veon Bell, Todd Gurley, Des Bryant, Danny Amendola, Julius Thomas, Alfred Morris. Notable on the bench there, you got Cameron Brate, Make America Great Again, Rams D, Sweet T Willie, Nelson Aguilar, Jermaine Kearse, and Chris Hogan if he's going to play again. So, what do you like?
Is he coming back?
I don't know.
As a Pats guy?
He's coming back.
They always might come back.
He's questionable for... He didn't practice. I think he was limited at practice, but he's coming back. He's questionable for this Sunday.
Yeah.
And if he's not playing this Sunday, he'll... And you know what? I actually hope he doesn't play for the next 2 weeks.
Because you have Amendola.
And I get him nice and fresh for the first week of the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I mean, what more could you want out of a guy? Why risk him in the last game of the season? No. Especially if I can pull out a big win this week and lock up a playoff spot.
Yeah, I hear it.
Then we can let the boys rest a little bit and get ready for the playoffs when it all matters.
It's one of those situations where you have Danny Amendola and Chris Hogan. It's almost like one of those running back, I have his backup. So if you don't have Chris Hogan, you got Amendola, you get some points there. It is kind of what
we'll see, I mean, Amendola hasn't been, he hasn't tickled my pickle too much.
He had 14 points last week.
Did he get 14 last week?
Yeah. So
Does your pickle feel a little more...
Yeah, how's your pickle?
Being that, Mr. Nightingale, being that it's trade deadline day, there's some pieces on your team that I really like, and I'd like to make you an offer.
Oh, wow.
Well,
it's trade deadline day, and we're making offers.
Now, behind the scenes, I've made some moves.
Okay.
And so I'm just going to offer this straight up to you based on what you've got. I'd like to get Des Bryant.
Okay.
And I'm prepared to offer you Golden Tate and Alvin Kamara.
Oh.
Okay. Deal?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Because 2 weeks ago, you accepted that same trade offer to Donovan, where he raped you.
Yeah, he did.
Now, what do you have to say to that?
This
is Judge Judy.
He really took me for a ride there, and it sucked. But you know what? The thing about that.
That was a sneaky move, man.
The thing about that
was sneaky.
The thing about that trade is that I had nothing for wide receivers, and
Zero. I've got two running back.
Well, I have the number one running back
and the number 10 wide receiver,
3 running back, and then Kamara was a top 10 guy.
Corey likes to throw average questions at people and then throw a sidebar. And
Well,
then,
okay.
Get all panicked.
So is that a trade or not?
Like
Are we going to do that? Des
question.
Bryant for Golden Tate and
No, why would anyone do that trade? That's ridiculous, right?
He did this to me last week.
Well, there was Des Bryant and there was Nelson. I was looking at it. Golden Tate is not good. Marvin Jones is the guy.
Golden Tate.
He gets 8 points. He had a good week last week, but week before that he put up 5 points.
He didn't have a good week.
Let's compare Golden Tate
Let's
to Des
pull
Bryant.
him up. No, let's compare. First of all, let's compare Golden Tate to Jones.
I don't care about Jones.
Golden Tate this week.
What number? What power ranking?
2 points last week. And then
Golden Tate's 18. Okay, pull up Des.
Who cares about
He had 2 points last week, and he had
I'm
3.
just saying, would you trade the 18 wide receiver for the 35th?
He traded 3 points for 15 last week.
But there's also Des Bryant, and Des Bryant in a Dallas Cowboys offense that just lost Ezekiel Elliott.
It's terrible.
Well,
who've been worse because they lost.
They look bad because they got beat because they had an injury on their offensive line, and Atlanta raped them. And
he was
quarterback.
playing.
But you've got Dak Prescott on your team. Who does Dak throw to?
Nobody.
How does your quarterback get
I'm
points?
trying to dump Dak.
So how can you justify that?
So
you're trying to dump him. So who's your quarterback?
I can't
how about
because I don't get raped and I don't have those players available to me.
Can we stop so casually throwing the rape word around? Jesus.
We are using the R word
way too much.
I agree with Donald on that one.
It's like...
I haven't said it.
After you smashed the glasses, I don't know who invited you back.
But Sayers, what are we going to do here? If you don't
Just
have
look at Des. What's Des?
If you don't have a quarterback,
I'll get his team.
Well, Des put up 8 points, and then
I'm just talking about number. What his number is. What he is as a receiver.
So it's an actual trade offer.
What have you done for me lately?
He doesn't have the players I have.
Still talking.
That was the trade that was made. So I'm wondering if you would do it back.
Des, 4, 8, 3.
What number is he? Power ranking.
28.
But
and what was Golden Tate?
As the
16?
season goes on, trades make a different.
Exactly.
There's a different meaning to
this. Was done 2 weeks ago.
Sure.
Yeah, it sucks, but what has Kamara done since then? He's gotten better and better and better.
Not a fair question.
What
you think is a fair trade, just because he thinks is a fair trade,
Doesn't mean it's wrong.
We can rewind the tape and we can listen to week 1 of the podcast when Mr. Sayers went on and said what a stupid draft pick that was, taking him in the 11th round because he's the third string running back in New Orleans. I mean, now look at the guy. Same thing happened 3 years ago when I drafted Mike Thomas in the 10th round. And then he was a top 2 round guy. I mean, you know what? I'm the guy who went in there, did the work, and drafted the fucking players.
Okay, we can't have everybody talking.
And I turned him into Des Bryant. So, you know what? Des Bryant, the season's not over. The guy's a stud. He's a talent in the league. I mean, look at Julio Jones. He's had a shit year. Is he a bad wide receiver? He's not. Des Bryant, he's going to be fine. And especially now without Ezekiel Elliott, someone's going to have to lead that offense. And someone's going to have to put up points. It's the same thing as having Robbie Anderson on your team.
Moreover,
you know, or throwing in Josh McGowan. Somebody's got to catch the football on these terrible teams.
Okay, and to that...
And Dallas is not a terrible team.
Corey.
Dak Prescott is not a terrible quarterback. He looked terrible today.
But hold on.
Well, he's looked terrible for
Corey.
They have looked terrible. But does that mean that they're not good anymore?
Well, they don't have Zeke. So
Nightingale.
Defenses aren't stacking the box. So
Nightingale.
They're defending the pass.
To counter Corey's argument with shitty stats like he's using, Corey, do you prefer the
Which one? You got to say Nightingale
Sorry,
or Sayers?
Sayers. His team now is Le'Veon Bell, Todd Gurley, and Alfred Morris. 3 number 1 running backs as his 2 running backs and his flex. His wide receivers, if I hadn't traded in Amendola, Des Bryant, and Nelson Aguilar, you don't throw the other guys in because you think they're cannon fodder. His team is Le'Veon Bell, Todd Gurley, and instead of Alfred Morris, he's got Kamara, and he's starting Terrence Williams and Jermaine Kearse. Are you happier with that, or are you happier?
No, he's starting Golden Tate, the number 16 wide receiver. You got stop forgetting about Golden Tate because he's number 16 as compared to Dez's number 29. He's also starting the number 4 running back.
We can find Golden Tate.
He did 2 points this week.
2 points this week.
I don't give a shit about
He's got 5.8 points.
How does that loses you a week?
How did Dez do this week?
We got more points than Golden Tate.
Did he?
Absolutely. And you got to forget the kicker in this too is Nelson Aguilar. The guy plays on a high-powered offense. The Philadelphia wins football games. They've got a stud quarterback, Carson Wentz, who throws the football. Sure, there's a lot of targets there.
I'm on the podcast.
But
hasn't done shit
but he had 3 weeks in a row where he had a touchdown.
I'm just telling you,
which it inflated his value. But who's to say he can't do that again?
I'm just telling you, Alvin Kamara's put up 120 points in 7 weeks, and I'll take that on my team all day. And I wouldn't trade Dez for him.
Yeah,
I wouldn't trade anybody.
You know what? You're right. But before I traded Kamara, he had maybe 70 less points.
That's not true because it was only 2 weeks ago.
Okay, so he's got 45 less points.
Okay.
He had 7, 10, 12. He had a 20, and then he went back to 15.
Okay, who gives a shit? This is so uninteresting. Corey Nightingale, unfortunately, you're coming on 2 hours after Sayers started a rant 2 hours ago about this trade.
It's okay. I get it. I'm salty about the trade too. If I could go back in time in my time machine
a week ago
and make that trade, I lost the trade as of right now, but there's still hope. It's not over yet. And I got Todd Gurley and Le'Veon Bell on my team, and I got Alex Smith who can put up 40 points on a given night.
Typically in 2-for-1s, the one is the best player in that deal, and in this case, the one was the worst.
Just take Kamara.
He's been hot all day. Anyway,
so
what are you liking about your team? What are you disliking? I personally look at your team. I like it. I think it's a great looking team. 3 starting running backs is always a win versus half the guys in our league couldn't trade for a running back to save their fucking lives. And
you try to trade the number 5 wide receiver, but you can't get anybody.
And their flex running back is some piece of shit like Theo Riddick that we keep.
I got one on the board with that.
So, Core.
Here's some things I like about my team. I like the Rams defense first and foremost. Let's just get that out of the way.
Me! Stop the podcast.
That's where I like. Let's bring them up because you know what?
Was it -5 last week?
Defense wins championships. Oh, yeah. Well, last week was a bit of a shit week.
But
17, 13, 15, 27, 18.
Yeah.
What have you done for me lately?
12.
That's talking about defenses.
I mean that's going to help. Second of all, the big thing that I like about my team is you got a guy like Chris Hogan who's going to come back into that offense. They spread the ball, but when he was there, he's putting up 15, 18 points. If you get that out of your flex player, your flex wide receiver, well, he would slot into one of my number 1 wide receivers. But
Okay, now, are you confident? Are you confident going forward? Are you confident in your playoff push? Are you excited?
I think I could have 3 big weeks with Le'Veon Bell, Todd Gurley, and Alex Smith.
There you go. And I think that sums it up. I think
that's the meat and bones of the team right now. It's the number 1 running back and the number 3 running back, and we all know that.
If I had to pick a bottom team to make the playoffs, I would pick the Bounty Hunters.
I'm not a bottom team.
Thank you for offering your input, but nobody asked you. Donovan, do you have any final inputs?
Yeah, I have one thing. I'll trade you Christian McCaffrey and Julio Jones for Le'Veon Bell.
I'm not going to leave. They want me to leave. I'm not going to leave.
I mean, I don't hate that, but that's kind of I've done the opposite of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've
Why they want to leave so they can hose these
consolidated my depth into Le'Veon Bell and Todd Gurley, and that's kind of the meat and bones of the team. And then Alex Smith, who right now he's dropped down to number 4, but he's been a top 3 quarterback all year. He can put up 30, 35 points on a given night. He's got a favorable matchup against Buffalo. He's got a friendly schedule, and you know what? If you bring up Pittsburgh,
hold on. I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about. I'll give you Leonard Fournette and Julio Jones for Le'Veon Bell.
Leonard Fournette and Julio Jones for Le'Veon Bell. I would absolutely take a look at that.
Okay, let's continue that conversation.
Now, we got what? How many hours do we have left until the deadline? Is there an official?
We have 5
midnight.
5.5 hours.
Midnight. Okay, we got
Pacific Standard Time.
We got time to shoot the shit.
5.5 hours.
How about that?
Now.
So, anyways, real quick, while we're here.
But I just want to ask. Oh, sure. Go ahead.
We're on the podcast. We're live. It's Thanksgiving. Let's just happy American Thanksgiving.
Cheers. Cheers. Thanks for joining us. As we've been continuing the entire time, I just want to say.
No one pulled a Mike Fanouf and broke anything, by the way.
I know, and he's hot. He's all mad in the corner. He's all pissed off. Well, you guys, blah, blah. I'm like, shut the fuck up, man. You're not on. Like, you're not. This isn't.
He's like the idiot producer in the back who keeps turning his mic on.
Yeah. At least Angela stays behind the glass doors.
And she provides you with food and booze. He just expects people to bring food and booze to him.
Yeah,
so. I put a roof. Like, everyone's got a roof, man.
But, I mean, you guys, what can you expect from our commissioner? He's a sluffer.
Yeah.
Now he's kind of sloughing off the duties of
everything,
making the podcast, and sits in like he owns the goddamn.
Yeah, thank you, exactly.
And it's offensive.
He's a blow me before you show me. It's the opposite of what we're about here.
Unless we're talking about guys you pick up on the waiver wire.
Okay, Mr. Nightingale.
But those are the Mike Fanouf type of guys. There's a reason they're out there.
Classic.
There's a reason that no one wants them on their team.
Okay, Mr. Nightingale.
You know.
All right.
That's what we get.
So we've been ending everybody's little guest show here with just a side question. So as somebody, and congratulations to Mr. Nightingale, who just got a nice little promotion.
Yes.
Proud of him. Working hard on it for a long time. Very
proud
those
bills. We're always proud of boys moving up.
Absolutely.
The bills.
We're thrilled with that.
We started with 15 listeners. We're at 200 now. We're proud of ourselves. Exactly. We don't know why.
So my question is this: what's your biggest? Do you have any apprehension? Do you have any anxiety going forward? What's your biggest unknown that's coming up for you? You're going into full time, getting a salary, getting your benefits. Are you nervous? Are you excited? How are you feeling? What's a young guy like yourself, like making moves in your career, trying to figure it out?
Well, I'll tell you one thing.
What's that?
And that's that nobody gives a shit about any of that stuff. And I came here to talk about fantasy football. And I tell you what, my hopes and dreams, and what am I nervous about? What am I excited about? What am I looking forward to in the future? And I'll tell you, there's one thing on my mind that I'm thinking about and focused on right now.
Yeah.
And it's winning that goddamn belt.
That's what we're all about here.
Love it.
I just want the belt.
Love it.
That's the best answer we've heard. Thank you so much for coming on the Whiskey Barrel Podcast. We look forward to your future calls, as we know you're a loyal fan and a long-time listener, and can't wait to have you on next time.
Always. Thanks a lot, boys. It's been great.
Cheers.
Good time.
Now, last week we had the assistant to the general manager on from this team, and the ladies have been swooning.
I've been swooning.
Panty soup has been made, if you will.
My pants are getting tighter as we speak. This gentleman just sat down.
I've tucked it into my belt already. He came in hot. He's got his white long sleeve on and his Russ Wilson RW3 on. He's ready to go. The real GM, the boss to the assistant to the GM of Team the Prius.
Yeah.
We're still hesitant on the name. It's like the Redskins. He's here in the building with us.
Meet Gajar, ladies and gentlemen.
Gajar, we're happy to have him, and I guess we'll dial up another...
Fucking Jesus. We've polished this whole... We've done this whole bottle. Okay, so, Amit, this is what we've been doing all day. We've been lining up people's teams. We've been asking the hard-hitting questions. But here's the thing about you. There's so many other questions. You're so mysterious. You're so behind the scenes. You're so the man behind the curtain that I have more important questions to ask. Are you in first place? Yes, you are. Are you most points for? 200 ahead. What's going on there? And I don't even care about the players because, yes, you've got Carson Wentz. Yes, you've got DeAndre Hopkins, Doug Baldwin, Antonio Brown, the number 3 tight end in Zach Ertz. Do you have a lot of depth? Absolutely. Did you get sewered with Zeke getting suspended? They should have taken that early. It is what it is. But these are the questions I want to ask. All right? Number 1, I think Team the Prius racist as shit. So...
Hey man, it's
I don't know how you stand idly by, comfortable with that, but
now your assistant told us it was a play on benefiting like global warming and preaching to nature.
Yeah, he was talking.
Well, we all know it's a homage to taxis because your name is the Taxi.
Yeah, man, this is it's straight racist.
Yeah.
I'll put it to you quite simply. Racist. That's all we wanted to know.
And that's it. As long as that's on the table and you're fine with it. I heard last week somebody say, and I really liked it, is you can never be more offended than the person who's supposed to be the butt of the joke.
Yeah,
and if
absolutely.
you think it's funny, I think it's funny. If you're
we
offended,
keep it together. You know, it's me and Old Balls there. We've been a team for quite some time. It's always going back and forth. So it's always been the Prius for a long time.
The way that I see it is that Amit is driving Brad to the top, taking him with him.
Yeah.
Brad's the passenger and Amit's taking him all the way. That's the way I see it. If we're going to go racist, then someone's driving the bus and the other guy's in the back pulling.
Hey man, I always say, you know, he's the navigator, so he
feeds you French fries and keeps
just keep going. But
now walk me through your process. Me and Brad have had some back and forth about trades and whatnot. How hands-on? Like what happens with you guys? I send a trade, he sends a trade. You guys talk.
Yeah.
You tell him what to do. He sends that forward.
We're a pretty good team. We talk about everything, sort of. I mean, everybody knows that I'm a very hands-off sort of guy when it comes to the fantasy teams. You know, I got a lot going on, and I try to keep myself together with everything. But generally,
you don't give a shit what kicker he picks up every week or whatever, right? If he switches the guy,
switches.
No, I mean I tell Brad I trust what he does, but for the most part, for any of the big stuff, we do talk it over. Like we're talking Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 10 o'clock. Monday night, we're normally on the phone for about a half hour, 45, chatting about what we're going to do. Tuesday, same thing. Any trades that come through, we'll talk them through, see what we're going to do. We'll compare numbers. We'll go back and forth, on where we're at and sort of hammer it out. And that's sort of our process that we work through. And we work really well as a team, I think. A lot of people don't actually think we talk a whole lot, but we're probably talking 4 to 5 times a week at least.
Well, I know that Brad and myself had talked about making trades for Carson Wentz, making trades for Antonio Brown this week, and I know every time I talk to him, he's like, I gotta talk to him. You
have to. When you're part of a team, you gotta.
And I respect that. I just was making sure that that's not all bullshit.
No.
Yeah. He's not just going, let me talk to me 10 seconds later. Oh yeah, Meat loves it. He loves everything you just said to me.
No, absolutely. We always go over everything together and sort of make sure that it makes sense. And I think both of us are analytical to a point, and him being a little bit more analytical than me, and I just sort of go over it and make sure that we're making the right business decision.
Now, when I look at your team, I see a weakness at running back. Other than that, I don't really see a weakness.
Yeah.
I think you're the front runner as far as I'm concerned. You're the only team that I don't really, because I look at your running backs and I'm not scared of them at all.
Yeah,
but then I look at your receivers. DeAndre Hopkins, Doug Baldwin, Zach Ertz, and Antonio Brown. And
That's not bad.
Any day that I can run into that, it's like, holy shit.
I've been surprised with DeAndre Hopkins because you thought he was going to go south with the switch to Smoking Tom Savage.
Yeah.
But he's maintained. I mean,
and that was a move we sort of made from the start, from going into the draft. I mean, those were 3 of our draft picks, I believe.
Yeah.
And we went into it going, based on where we were placed, and we just said, we're going to go heavy on the wide outs and make sure that we can get the best we can get, and then go from there. And we knew that we were taking a bit of a flyer on Zeke. We knew that there was a possibility that it was a risk. It was high risk, high reward sort of scenario, and we knew that it was either going to work or not work. And especially with that Dallas offense is a mess now because Zeke's out, and I think that they're in all sorts of trouble. But from the running back position, I know that we've been trying to make some deals with you behind the scene for the last couple of days, and. That's definitely a point of contention for us, is that we are a little bit weak in that area. So,
all right, fair enough. Now, who's doing the draft? I'm sorry, not the draft. Who's doing the waiver wires? Who's doing the ad drops for you?
So
guys?
Generally, again, like we're talking Monday night or finishes. We chat about it. He'll throw on who he likes. I'll throw on something I like. We'll talk on the Tuesday. We'll go over again, like we have scheduled times, 10 o'clock. He'll give me a call.
Oh, that's
we'll
hilarious.
Go over it, and
wow, that's great.
And we'll chat about sort of where we're at, what's going on, who he thinks is looking good, who I thought looked good over the week. A difference is between, I think, me and Brad is that we look at it from a little bit of a different perspective when we're talking football. I come from playing a lot of football, so I like a lot of the feel sort of idea. I sort of displace myself from maybe the fantasy idea, and I kind of think about who the guys are from a feel perspective on the team and how they are. He looks at it from a bit of an analytical point,
more the numbers.
Yeah, so I think it's really important to be able to have that sort of.
It's a good comparison between the two for sure.
Yeah, so that's how we sort of work.
All right.
So where do you stand? What do you think? It's championship or bust?
Yeah, I think so. I think we got to make. I guess tonight's when's trade deadline?
It's tonight.
Yeah, so I know we've got a couple plans in mind once he shows up here. Hopefully, he shows up soon.
I assume one of the reasons he's actually coming tonight is because I'm here.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So
now we've got two questions to finish it off, and we appreciate you coming on. My question first, and then Donna to follow.
Yeah.
Now at the start of the year, you guys had a bet, and it was something along the lines of if Gostowski gets drafted, something blah blah blah, someone pays the league fees. Right?
That's right.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
No,
now who paid the league fees?
Brad did. Yeah.
Brad paid the league fees.
Yeah.
Now you guys are in line for most points for.
Mm-hmm.
Did the league fees get paid on opening night?
Yeah, so we paid those. I think it was we were deep, and Brad was saying we should hold off on Gostowski, pick him up in the next couple rounds, and then next pick went to Hinton, and so he paid the league fees.
Well, there's a reason he's in last. Anyway, so Brad paid the league fees.
He did.
Now there's a reward for $100 for most points for the league.
I think.
Now you guys are in line. Probably going to win it this year because I think you're over 100 points ahead with 3 weeks to go. Unless you put up a couple 50-point weeks, which probably won't happen.
I don't think that's going to happen yet.
You should win most points for. That being said, should you win that $100, does it get divided evenly between the two of you, or does it all go to Brad, who paid the league fees?
Oh,
Brad
man.
had one answer.
Yeah.
I want to hear your answer. I won't tell you what Brad said.
I'd probably give that to Brad, to be honest. I mean, I don't really.
The gentleman that you are. Yeah, Brad said. I believe Brad said he'd keep it himself. Didn't he?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think.
No, he completely didn't. He said he'd split it between you guys.
Man, I'd give that to Brad.
The league fees are paid. You get reimbursed for your league fees is the thing, right?
In all fairness, I think he does do a little bit more than I do with the team, and I really appreciate what he does. But we do, we work as a great team to move forward, and I think we've done pretty good since we've been a team.
But you're here on American Thanksgiving. You're usually there on Conference Day. You're usually there Super Bowl.
Yeah, he shows up when it
Draft
counts.
Day. It's all that matters. That's all we care about.
Okay.
Right? Final thoughts done.
As you might know, a lot of our listeners, there should be about 8 listeners. We've
Perfect.
got
about 250.
We don't have that many listeners, but we went from 8. We should have there's 3 of us in the league right now. There's basically 14 guys involved in the league.
Okay.
We should have 10 listeners.
Okay, a lot of those people that are listening are people that we know. They're friends, they're family, they're people that know us from mutual acquaintances. Yep. We all work together at a restaurant together.
Yep.
And you, over the last few years, have made from the full-time switch from the working at a restaurant, working nights, working weekends, to the more of the 9-to-5 kind of administration kind of thing.
Right.
Without getting into too much detail.
Yeah.
Now, tell me, what are the pros? What are the cons? What do you miss about the Friday nights behind the bar? What do you like about having Friday night off now so you and the lady can watch Netflix?
Man, I think I miss all you guys first and foremost.
That's
I agree. Being a guy who's done the same thing, you miss the camaraderie.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing being in that space. I think I miss, slinging drinks. It's always a good time.
Yeah.
It can be stressful sometimes. It can be fun as hell sometimes.
Yeah.
Probably miss a little bit of partying, I'd say, for sure. And, in the position I am now, I think I don't really... it's a lot of responsibility, so it's kind of nice when you're slinging drinks. All you got to worry about is taking care of the people in front of you and going from there and not taking it home. I definitely miss that a lot. So.
Now, what don't you miss though? That's the big thing. What's the
what
change?
don't I
What's
miss?
the benefit?
Man, God, I've been thinking about this a lot. It's one of those things.
Aside from financial security, having weekends off, working a normal day.
It's funny. I've gone through the last 3 years with some pretty big ups and some pretty big downs in regards to owning a fairly successful business, and I've learned that maybe that lifestyle sometimes, even if it's just you have a little bar on the beach, maybe you don't make $1 million or whatever it is, might be a lot better than just working your ass off 16, 18 hours a day. So
when we win the Lotto Max, that's our goal, is to open up a little beach bar in buttfuck nowhere, Jamaica, and just make it happen.
Call me, because I'll be there.
You'll be the first on the docket. We appreciate you coming on,
thank you
as
so
always.
much, man.
Thanks,
it's
man.
good to hear from the GM, because we heard from the assistant to you, and you never want to get the secretary.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you reach out to one of these big time corporations. Like, if I want to get Elon Musk on the phone, I got to talk to so many assistants, and that's what Brad Friend is. Yeah. And now we've got Elon Musk.
There you go, boys.
Cheers. Thank you.
Well, we're back at it here with our last guest of the day. It's been the super terrific happy hour, and I know Don, he was submissive to the idea, but I'm going to ask you, Hinton, the hard questions.
Hard questions. Let's go.
All right, hard questions.
Now,
it is.
Hinton, you've got you're out there in the world, and the world. We play the odds in the world when we're betting on things, and one thing in the world happens 3 times out of 10. That's
Mike's burning something!
Julie!
Mike's burning
We'll be right back. We'll be right back. All right, it's been like an hour and a half. The food's ruined. Classic fan.
We've had to move houses because his is burnt to a crisp.
Yeah, so we're in a new spot, but that's okay. The Mobile Studios is what it is. Now, Mr. Hinton, where we left off. Odds in the world. Okay, you're going to put your money down. One event happens 3 out of every 10 times. Another event happens 7 out of every 10 times. Where are you going to put your money?
I'm going to go with the 7 out of 10 times.
Okay.
It's just
excellent.
Common sense.
Now, let me read to you some stats here, Mr. Hinton. I have in front of me, after week number 3, so that's 1, 2, 3, 3 out of 10, because everyone's had a bye. So 3 out of 11, but everyone's had a bye. After week 3, so not the 3 out of 10, the 7 out of 10, the top 22 running backs. Okay? Who's number 1?
Todd Gurley.
Nope.
Kareem
Section
Hunt.
number 5. Kareem Hunt is number 16.
Oh.
Yes.
I'm going to have to go with Mark Ingram.
Mark Ingram is number 1. So, in the last 7 weeks, Kareem Hunt has put up 67.7 fantasy points. That's less than 10 per week. How do you feel about that?
Not too bad. Not too bad. I'm playing the long game.
Okay,
I'm not looking in the past. I'm looking forward.
So, next year, are you going to keep Isaiah Crowell?
Nope.
Okay. Are you going to keep Joe Mixon?
Nope.
Are you going to keep Orleans Darkwa?
Nope.
Are you going to keep Carlos Hyde?
Maybe.
Are you going to keep Tevin Coleman? Keep.
No.
Are you going to keep Duke Johnson?
This is the same argument that's been made 5 times on this podcast.
I'm just naming better players.
I imagine that's what's going on here.
Corey believes that there's a conspiracy, Hinton, that you were trading for a keeper when you traded me McCaffrey and Julio, and I'm contending, no, you needed a running back to start on McCaffrey's bye for a win, and you were planning on starting. You were planning on keeping. If you do keep one, is Jordan Howard. Am I even close to that?
That's exactly what my trade was. My trade was to move week to week. I'm not playing for the keepers.
Yeah.
I'm playing week to week. I need to win out, so I can't have my best running back sitting on the bench while I'm playing. I don't even remember who it was, but it was dismal.
Oh, Tariq Cohen who put up 14 points.
I know, that was awesome.
What I'm gonna put to you, so the week of McCaffrey's bye, Kareem Hunt put up 7.8 points.
I know.
Julio Jones put up 8.3. So is 8.3, more than 7.8?
Again, the context in which you're speaking, Sarah.
Well, if I could tell the future, then for sure I would have kept Julio Jones.
Would you rather have Julio Jones plus a guy who puts up 3 points?
If I would have sat you down in week 12 and said you can start Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen or Jordan Howard and Kareem Hunt, there's not a fucking chance. You would have said Tariq Cohen.
In week 12, that hasn't happened yet. So I would definitely say that.
Sorry,
yeah,
week
that's
10.
The case. On Kareem Hunt's bye, yes, I would say that. That's the case.
You know what I'm talking about. You know
well,
what I'm saying.
I've just gone 0 for 2 on you, so I'm
week
just trying to
6.
So you're more worried about the 1 week he's not playing than the 13 or 14 weeks he is playing?
I've got to win. It doesn't matter. If he could be playing, I need to win week to week.
But you traded the guy away who has more points.
I'm so scared of one guy on a bye.
I'll take Kareem
because
Hunt
I needed to win
for
that week.
McCaffrey. Who's got Hunt?
Trade Kareem Hunt. Trade
Hunt.
Kareem Hunt back for McCaffrey and Julio.
You've clearly never drafted.
Would you trade McCaffrey and Donovan? Would you trade McCaffrey and Julio for Kareem Hunt?
No, but I do.
Why not? Because that's a week removed.
Because
why not?
Jesus
Why wouldn't you?
Because I want Julio on my team. My only
I also don't even want Julio. Julio's also injury prone.
Okay, so just a heads up,
I get the point.
Donovan has gained an extra 10 points per week on average by gaining Julio. You traded away over 10 points per week. Kareem Hunt is the number 16 running back. Christian McCaffrey is the number 12 running back. So you traded away the number 12 running back plus Julio Jones for the number 16 running back. I rest my case.
Hinton.
Yeah, but you're looking at it in a vacuum because I'm
looking at a 7-week
But
trend.
I also have to play other people instead of McCaffrey who could have gotten 3 your point 10 your 8-point plus a 3-point.
McCaffrey
has a binder.
McCaffrey has averaged more points per week than Kareem Hunt. So you should keep Kareem.
And if you have to win this week, do you just go, I'll lose with McCaffrey on my bench?
Why would you also have Julio Jones, so that's a crazy.
Yeah, but I had a wide receiver.
You have a guess.
I had a wide receiver to fill in for Julio more so than I didn't want to play Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen.
Who put up 14 points?
Yeah, because what's Tariq Cohen's pass points been?
Have you looked at the matchups?
Well,
when he has a plus matchup, he's
why don't you look up your
what would you like?
Spreadsheet there?
That's
the binder.
That's what I'm saying. We're not going into the deep dive. So here's where we're at.
Tariq Cohen's right here.
What do you think? Hinton, you're still in the play for the playoffs.
1.3 the week before. So I'm going to trust the one against Green Bay. 1.3 the week before he got his 12-point game. Who did he play
the next week?
The next play he played Detroit, which is arguably better defense than Green Bay.
And
he happened to have a good game. I can't. And then the week before it was a bye. Week before 6.3, 7.3, 9.3, 1.3, 5.
So I'm taking all those points plus Julio because Julio put up more points than Kareem Hunt regardless. So all those points.
Yeah, but I've also got a wide receiver that I was playing instead of Julio.
Let's put him up. Who? I think it was Jamison Crowder, 0.4. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, it was Jamison Crowder.
Good move.
Jamison Crowder's playing this game.
Nailed it.
Jamison Crowder.
9
last
points.
week. No, the week before. We already did the math. It's like 2.8.
Right, well, thanks for coming on the Whiskey Barrel podcast.
Oh, God, Mike, you can't just walk in here.
All right, Hinton, where do you lie? Are you trying to make the
Commissioner?
I'm making the playoffs.
Everybody shut up. Hinton, are you making the playoffs or not?
I'm making the playoffs. I also have the second most points for. Can we just put that out there as well? No, I'm out of the playoffs.
Well, then you're fucked, bud. Get out of here.
No, I covered.
No.
Listen,
no one's out yet.
Oakland Reindeers over there.
This is where we went south last week, so let's keep it together. Hinton, you're not mathematically eliminated. You're playing for the playoffs.
I got to win this week. We're playing this week, me and you.
I know, and I'm off to a dismal start. You too. I think Kirk Cousins hasn't had a good game either.
Kirk Cousins is.
But Kareem Hunt's got a plus matchup, but he's only good for 6 points a game. So he's the RB20, so it doesn't really matter. I'm not worried about it.
Okay, who's your number one running back this week?
Melvin Gordon, I think.
I bet you Kareem Hunt puts up more points than Melvin Gordon.
Is there more fireball?
What did Melvin Gordon do? I
think 8.8.
Way more fun in here.
Okay. All right. Well, we always thank you for coming on, John. Last thoughts.
Okay, could you? We can't have these go this long.
Well,
Hinton, you came in fresh. Corey bombarded you because he's been having this argument for 2.5 hours.
He's waiting to come back.
It's a super terrific happy hour, and we've gone for 2.5 hours. Don, we've asked everybody. We've had every GM on the phone. We've had every GM on the show. We warned you before you started listening that this was going to be the super terrific episode. It's only going to happen once a year. Here it is, Don.
One more
Final
question.
thoughts.
No, so I have one more question. Or are we ending? Is this it? Or do I give him his question?
His question, and then we'll end.
This is it.
I have a question. Chris Hinton, you recently moved into a house with a pool. Is the amount of maintenance worth it for the amount of use you get out of it?
He's not a swimmer.
If you have kids, I think it is.
With the danger aspect, too.
Yeah, but it's got fences, so fence is fine.
So they can get trapped inside the pool?
Yeah, you gotta lock them in. You control the area, and they can't get away.
We on the Whiskey Barrel podcast after 2.5 freaking hours. Shut it
So
down.
anyways, yes, pool, if you have kids, because there's nothing worse than loading kids into a car to go to a cramped pool with 40 other people, and then coming home when they're all wet, where you can just throw them in their swimsuits, bring them in the backyard. No kids. I used the pool maybe once on my own.
Yeah.
I think that was probably the extent of it.
Yeah.
And other than that, it's just cleaning.
I live in a building with pool. Like I have a pool
Yeah.
amenities building, and
Yeah.
there's been only like 3 times in the summer where I've been like, "Fuck, I really want to go to the pool because I have AC."
Yeah.
And I've just been hungover as shit. But
Yeah.
it's too. It's like 35 steps, so it's like that's too far. If I could just walk out my front door and fall in, yes.
Yeah.
If I couldn't, your pool's right outside your door.
God, you're so
right outside the front door, right?
Yeah, it's just out the elevator and to the left.
Have you ever been so hungover you just want to fall into the pool?
No.
Have you ever been in your pool?
I've never. I could bear. I
Have
could
you ever been in the room the pool's housed in?
Yeah, when I was looking at the place and they sold me on the pool. They were like, "Look at the amenities."
It only costs you $400 a month.
Like,
Look at this pool.
I'll steam all the time, and now I'm like,
Who doesn't want
God,
to
I'm
get
just
steam with
I
those
have
neighbors?
I have blackout curtains and a king size bed. I'm not getting out of here.
I'm gonna finish this off with the same question we asked other. He's a recurring father, but again a newer father.
So Hinton?
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
And we asked Saul the same question. We hear a lot of negativities about fatherhood and being a parent.
Saul really inspired us.
Oh, you got to buy a bunch of diapers, and you got to get up, and you can't sleep, and blah 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 blah. What's your favorite part about being a dad?
Of two
A new dad. He's got 2 kids, but of a newborn, do you have a newborn?
No, so
what's
I like
the best part?
I like the 2 children.
The excitement around the holidays.
That's the best part.
Well, the best part is watching them. Like, we've been to Disneyland a couple times.
Yeah.
And seeing the excitement in their... Like, they're getting back to that excitement of
living through them.
Living through their perspective. You get to see the excitement of them seeing the Mickey and the Minnie and everybody else.
Makes you feel young again.
Yeah, exactly. And you got the Christmas coming up. It's the Santa, it's the elves, and all that excitement. So you forget about all that as you get older and you have kids, and then all of a sudden that comes back, and all of a sudden you get to relive it. You get all the imagination, the magic, the excitement that you just sort of let go by.
I assume every time you come home from work, you get excited to see the kids.
Well, yeah.
Or no, you go right to the freezer for the Mickey a whiskey.
Well,
and then back to the children.
You gotta train them to get the whiskey for you, and then you're excited for the whole package.
Oh, mine's always.
But yeah, no, getting home exciting. It's always exciting to get home to the kids as well. So
that's fantastic.
Well, that's another father kind of inspiring.
That's what I said. I want to.
And then yet another father smash a bunch of shit on the ground.
Yeah.
So cheers. Thanks for listening. Next week it won't be as ridiculous. We appreciate your patience.
No tapping on the table anymore.
No. Cheers.
Thanks for coming out to the super terrific happy hour, and we'll catch you next
there's
week.
a little lady crawling in.
We're gonna be back at it. We're not going mobile next week. We're back in the Wendy Law Studios. We'll see you there.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.
Cheers.